Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday. At least I think it's Thursday. These days, I actually just don't know. Every day of the week could be Thursday, and I wouldn't know as Jeff pokes his microphone. I'm not hearing shit. Are you not hearing shit? Jeff isn't hearing shit. Okay, 1 second. 1 second. Discord is fun. It never fucks up. Love the program. Can you hear me now, Jeff?
Yeah, I can't see you though.
Okay, 1 second. We'll work on that one step at a time. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. We're back. It's Thursday. It's Thursday, April the 23rd, 2020, the year of our Lord, and the year of the Space Godzilla. It's another Technical Alpha podcast. Hope you guys are out there all doing well. Let me get this over here and then try and figure out Discord's new video overlay. Can we get it to go away? Hold on. Mini, tiny me in the bottom corner. There we go. Perfect. Boom. Jeff, what should people be doing right now?
Hitting the like button.
Thank you.
Boom.
Get that out of the way early.
Just hit it.
Hit
that like button.
Are you on the right settings? You sound quiet for some reason.
Yeah, I'm on the right setting.
Are you? Okay, maybe I have you turned down for some reason. Just 1 second. I will solve that problem. But while I'm doing that, Mr. Black, how was your week?
It was all right. Another week. The house is finally done, or it will be officially complete today. Floors got done, so tenants moving in on Monday. And yeah, that's been pretty much it. Same old same. My son is beating the shit out of himself at home, so that's great.
As most small children do at some point.
Yep. Well, he's running around now, so he's getting better at it. But once he gets going, it's like he can't stop.
You get no breaks. It's like when you first learn to skate, and you figuring out the skating part, not so bad. Figuring out how to stop when you're on skates, it's another problem entirely.
Yeah. So today he ran into the pantry door, and as he fell head first.
Oh no!
Into basically like there's a window pane on the door, but the frame of it. Anyway, he fell and smacked his head on the corner of that. And it's like a little imprint on his on his forehead, like a little line, and he had a little lump, but the swelling's going down quite a bit. So but he's in good spirits. Like it's like nothing happened. But yeah, he's a bit salty. What else did he do? He did something else this week too. He hurt himself. Oh, he busted up his one of his fingers. He was outside picking up a rock, and he was just kind of walking down the street with Kayla because they go on these little walks to get some fresh air. And then he fell, and as he fell, he was still holding the rock, and then he fell on his hand, and then like his finger smacked the pavement with the rock. And his finger was all like we thought his fingernail was gonna come off, but it's healed up nicely.
It's held the line.
It's held the line. So anyway, he's had a rough go at it, but I mean, it's boys, kids will be kids.
It's not just boys. I mean, little girls beat the shit out of themselves too when they're learning how to walk. It's like everyone's gonna fall and beat themselves up. And
I know. I told Kayla she's all feeling bad and stuff. I'm like, Kayla, he's gonna be. This kid's going to split his head open. He's going to do all kinds of dumb shit. Like, he's going to get all kinds of fucked up. I mean, that's just what kids do. You can't keep your eye on them, but you can't stop. They're going to learn. They got to learn the hard way sometimes. Like, it's just the way it is.
It's, you have to learn that when you're falling, using your head is not a valid way of stopping yourself.
No, he learned that today.
That's a good
lesson.
lesson.
He learned that today.
It's a good lesson. It's a good lesson to learn. I mean, he did also take a long time to not want to just use his head instead of his hands to push himself around on the ground. So he likes to use his head in general.
He likes to use his head.
This is the go-to solution. But maybe this time around with a lump on that on the forehead, he'll learn his lesson. Probably not.
Probably not.
Other than that, how was your week? RP has been good. You haven't mixed it up to do. You've been playing Valorant some more.
Yeah, I played Valorant last night. Played a couple games. I'm just like a casual man. I'm like I just go in there to have a bit of fun. And one thing that I've learned about Valorant, it's a pretty dog shit game when you're queuing by yourself. This is not the game. This is not the type of game that you want to go and solo queue, kind of like League of Legends.
Yeah.
It's not a good time. It's just not a good, especially since there's no ranking right now. So everybody's just getting thrown in with everybody. But if you can get at least 2 other friends, and you can have 3 out of 5 that are like your teammates, and you can actually talk and communicate, it's a damn good time. By yourself, it's a whole lot of nope.
Yeah, no, I mean that's not surprising. It's like every fucking competitive game ever, team based. If you don't have friends, you're gonna have a bad time. It's just the way that it is. And so yeah, that's not surprising. And like, what always makes me, and you can I'll ask you how it's been for you, but I have a feeling I know what the answer is based on what you just said. But it's always fun to watch when a new team-based competitive game comes out, and everyone always says the same shit. It's always, oh man, it's been so nice. Everyone's having such a fun time. There's no toxicity. People are really working together and having a good time, having some laughs. It's not, this is it, man. This is what competitive gaming is supposed to be about. This is the show. It's not like League of Legends. It's not like Dota. It's not like that. And the lists just get longer and longer and longer. And then like, a month in, the honeymoon phase is over. People are try-harding the fuck out of these games, and the toxicity just starts to ramp real fucking quick. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, "Man, everyone's so toxic now." And I remember back in the good old days, like 3 fucking days ago, back in the good old days, it was so nice, and everyone was having a good time. And now it's cancerous. What's it been like for you so far when you're not playing with friends?
It hasn't been too bad, honestly. And I think it's mainly because there's no ranking yet. Once rank comes in, yikes. I mean, you get some douche. I've probably been the most toxic player so far on my team, to be honest with you.
Fair, yeah.
If I'm just being frank, because some people just like, especially since I've been playing with teams so much, and then like some people just don't know when to buy. They're just using abilities for the sake of using it, just doing dumb shit. And like I deal with it for a while, but when those people start complaining about what you're doing and they start to like talk shit, and that's when I started to go, dude, shut the fuck up. All right, just shut the fuck up, because I'm tired of hearing. And they goes, okay, that's what they sound like when they have that fucking game. So yeah, I've probably been the most toxic that I've seen out of anybody. There's one other guy that was pretty fucking rude, but I normally don't say anything unless people are running their mouth.
That's fair.
Like, dude, just shut the fuck up.
That's fair.
I'm not the type of guy that'll go in and for losing, I'm like, you motherfuckers, man, pictures. I'm not like that. It's only when people start bitching and yelling at other people and they're fucking hot garbage, then
that's
then
always
like
the
that.
worst. That's
so
always
far,
the worst.
Honestly, the game hasn't been, even by myself, it hasn't been really all that toxic, and it's only because there's no rank, and not everybody uses a microphone, which can be bad in itself, because you can be playing up against a team that are on mics and you're just fucked. You just got random people doing whatever. But yeah, once that rank comes out, bro, it's gonna be the literal thing that you're saying, where people are, and it's gotten a little bit more toxic since it's for like the first week, but it's definitely playable, and it's most certainly enjoyable, and kind of everybody's still on sort of the same page. So I think the people that are like really competitive and shit, they don't really solo queue. So you're not really dealing with the hardcores, because they're with other hardcore players, and so they're usually yelling at each other. Like most of the yelling that I've done and I've experienced is between me and my own teammates that are actually friends, or we're like, you know, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, yo, go this way or go that way. But it's more of a competitive spirit. You know what I mean? Like being on a competitive team, and you got to put your boys in check, or you're getting called out for your dumb shit or whatever.
Yeah.
It's usually like in a more of a competitive aspect, but hasn't been bad so far. But I guarantee you, it's Riot. It's a competitive game. It's a 5-player game. It's gonna be bad.
It's a shooter. It's gonna be real fucking bad. Yeah. My week was another week. I finished Final Fantasy VII Remake last night. Got through that. It's always hard for me to tell like what my exact playtime is, because when I play games, I stop a lot and I talk a lot, and like the game's just running in the background a lot. But I would hazard a guess that for most people playing it, you're like looking at between 30 and 40 hours, depending on you know, the pace that you're taking the game, how long it takes you to do some of the side quests, because there are some side quests that if you miss, like if you go in just the right direction, or the wrong direction I should say, some of the side quests take like way fucking longer than they need to. But I'd say 30 or 40 hours is probably a safe bet. One person in the community said that they beat it in 28 hours, including all side quests. I don't know what kind of cocaine they were on in order to accomplish that, but that's pretty wild, and I don't think that would be the standard standard time. If you don't do any side quests, I could see the game going as low as 22 hours. If you're just doing the main and you're not fucking with anything else. And honestly, the side quests aren't anything to write home about anyway. Like, they don't add anything to pretty much any of the story, or really give you much in terms of like super usable. It's not like you're getting dope ass materia, or like dope ass fucking like gear, or like millions of dollars for doing these side quests. So I feel like a lot of people will probably only do a couple of them and then be like, nah, fuck doing more of that, and then just go on with the main story. So 30 hours to 35 is probably going to be the average for people for the game. And then of course I'll have a review. I started writing the review last night, and I'll have all sorts to say about it in that review. But the long short of it is, damn. Just damn.
All right.
Just
all
damn.
Right.
Just damn.
I'll wait for the review.
I will say this. I will say this though.
Do not spoil anything.
No, it's not. Please. Of course not.
All right.
I have to try and write a review with no spoilers. Do you know how hard it is to critique this game with no spoilers? It's almost fucking impossible. But what I am going to say, and this is not for you, but this is for like, if you haven't played the original Final Fantasy VII before, and if you haven't played Crisis Core, and if you haven't watched Advent Children, there is a not insignificant amount of this game that they assumed that you know shit from all of those different places. So from the original game, from Advent Children, from Crisis Core, there are some big fucking assumptions made. So if people tell you that you don't necessarily need to play the original or whatever to be able to understand what's going on in this remake, it is of my position that while that's not necessarily incorrect, like, you can get through the game and you're not going to be like completely lost, some of the main story beats in this game rely on that shit. So that was a bad move by them. I don't know why. Thank you, Mama. I don't know why they went that route. But they did. So that's something to keep in mind. If you haven't played and you're thinking about buying this game, just know that you may not get nearly as much out of it. Not just in terms of like, oh, they make a bunch of references. Like, you know, sometimes they make like a sequel, but they'll make the sequel standalone so you don't have to go back and play the original. And they might just make like callbacks to characters or whatever. For the people who played the original, it's like, thank you for playing the original, but we're not making this game just for you. It's not that. It's they literally have main story beats that kind of rely on you knowing the original game. So it was a bit of a weird choice, so just keep that in mind if you haven't played the game. But I'll have a full, hopefully spoiler-free review. And if I can't make it happen without spoilers, I'll try and find some way to have one that's spoiler-free, and then if you don't care about some of the stuff that I'd talk about to critique it further, I'll have like another separate thing somewhere to read, because some of the biggest flaws in the game, unfortunately, are inescapable without talking about spoilers. So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, played that and got through it, and that was my week. That's all I basically did. I didn't do anything else. I did that, and that was the show. Otherwise, it's just been more stay-at-home life. Today, I will say today, in great news, M was allowed to finally go upstairs for the first time since she's been here, because she's been down here for almost a month. So she's able to see the upstairs floor of this house for the first time in almost a month, and see my mum from more than like a half kilometer away for the first time in just as long. So she'll be able to start helping my mom with my grandmother, which is a major bonus. And then other than that, that's been pretty much it. It's exciting. I know I need to shower today really fucking badly. And I don't know how much longer I can go without cutting my hair, but it's coming.
I don't know if you see mine, but I'm
gonna be real. Both of us look like shit.
Yes,
we both look like absolute dog shit right now. It is a hurting situation.
I just don't care anymore. I've accepted it. I'm already a pretty big hobo to begin with, even without a fucking
it's a whole nother level.
Now I've got an excuse.
Yeah.
Now I'm just letting it go. Now I'm just letting, if this keeps going, man, I'm gonna have an afro like this come in 2 months.
Fuck it.
YOLO.
Just do it. Make it happen. This was a thin week for news, so depending on how well we do with stretching some of these segments out, it could be a relatively short podcast, but we will get through what we can. Unfortunately, we lost not one. There was actually a couple of voice actors that we lost this week that passed away. The big one that most people would know from the English side was Paul Haddad, who was the voice actor of Leon Kennedy in the original Resident Evil 2. He passed away, and I still don't know if it was released how he passed away. He wasn't that old of a guy, but I don't know if that was released. And then there was another gentleman who was a Japanese voiceover for all sorts of stuff, like Arden in Final Fantasy 15, Reno, I think, for Final Fantasy 7 Remake, for example, like recently. Amongst others, he passed away. And then there was another voice actor, Portuguese voice actor, who I recognize the name of, who did some prominent games, who also passed away this week. So voice actors just not having a good week this week, all passing away. And so best goes out to the family for those folks. Jason Schreier of Kotaku, who's a man that we reference often here because between him and Patrick Keplik, for people who break news faster than everyone else in gaming, he has left Kotaku. He was the editor-in-chief there, basically. He is leaving Kotaku. He announced it this week. And he is leaving the site to pursue a new position, still gaming news, basically doing what he's doing now, except now he's going to do it for Bloomberg.
Okay.
So that means one of two things. Well, it means a couple of things, I should say. Not one of, but a couple of things. One, Kotaku is power fucked right now. Like, super fucked. And he's getting out before it gets any more power fucked. And two, he's getting a much bigger paycheck and job security at Bloomberg than he would if he stayed at Kotaku. So it was a good move by him, but fucking hell, Kotaku was already in a rough spot. Now it's without its basically leader.
Rip.
Now we wait and see who tries to fill the shoes of Jason Schreier at Kotaku. God help that website. That's going to be quite an interesting time. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, like Schreier is a bit of a dick, and I don't agree with a lot of his opinions. But when it comes to breaking reliable news, he is one of the top people to go to. So that's actually a pretty hot pickup for Bloomberg. It makes me sad because I don't like Bloomberg, but now I might have to follow Bloomberg so that we can continue to get accurate gaming news. Yeah. So, fucking hell, but, it is what it is. Next up, speaking of Final Fantasy VII Remake, it has... I have sold here, but they're mixing up shipped and digital sales. And sometimes when companies say we shipped, that means we have shipped to customers, but also just shipped to retailers. And so they will count their own sales as Best Buy bought fucking X number of copies to put on their shelves, and they'll count it as already sold. So I don't know exactly, but they are stating that they have shipped and sold digitally combined 3.5 million copies in the first 3 days for Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is a pretty good kickstart for that. Not surprising. This was a game that was going to sell a lot of copies no matter what. This game could have been Fallout 76 levels of fucked, and the opening sales for the game would have been huge regardless, just because of the name. So the more interesting number for me won't actually be how this first one does, but it will be part 2. That will be the fun one to see what the numbers do. Will it continue to keep the numbers of the first? Will it drop? Will it look like Final Fantasy 13?
That's insane numbers. Like, in 3 days?
Yes.
That's a lot.
Well, you're thinking about everyone staying at home and waiting for this game, right? And and
it could be the perfect storm too with the quarantine.
Everyone's at home. It's quarantined. There's a lot of games got delayed. There's not.
It's a lengthy game too.
It's a lengthy game. Wait, but it's Final Fantasy VII Remake. The amount of okay. So to put this in perspective, the first game sold 18 million copies. Final Fantasy VII over its lifetime. Final Fantasy VIII was 8.8 or 8.7 million. Final Fantasy VII, love it or hate it, is the most popular Final Fantasy game of all time. It's also the most selling Final Fantasy title in the mainline franchise of all time. And it is, I actually mentioned this in the opening of my review, people sometimes forget that when this whole like remake, remaster culture started in the gaming industry, it was actually a long time ago now. Like, people think this is new. This has been going on for like a fucking long time, like 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
And, or more almost at this point. And when the first of those titles started to appear, or those projects started to appear, the first thing that everyone fucking started asking for was Final Fantasy VII to be remastered. And it was on every time a new game, it wasn't just like forums specific to Final Fantasy VII. It was like whenever a game got announced that it was going to be remastered, the comment section wasn't about that game. It was,
Final Fantasy VII.
This is good, but I really want to see Final Fantasy VII remastered. It was like a fucking phenomenon that went on for a long time until Square Enix came down and said, guys, it's not going to happen because it's going to take too much time and too much money. And then it literally died for 2 or 3 years. And then 2015 crops up, and they have the announcement trailer at E3, and the whole industry went, wait a minute, I thought you said this was impossible, but okay, cool, and then everyone got excited again. So this was going to sell fuck tons, truckloads of games, regardless, just by that alone. And I think people forget about that because it's been so long since the original hype around the idea of Final Fantasy VII getting remastered was a thing. But yeah, 3.5 million copies in the first 3 days, big numbers. It'll be fun to watch the trend of its lifetime sales. And then, like I said, I'm most interested in when part 2 comes out in probably 18 months, 2 years, what that one sells like. Because Final Fantasy 13, for example, the first one, sold many, many, many copies. That was... Final Fantasy 13 was, 7 or 11 million copies. I can't remember which one of those two. And then Final Fantasy 13-2 came out, and that number got cut in half. It was like 3.3 million. And then 13-3 came out, and it barely cracked 1 million sales. So
yeah, it's a little different though. This is a little different.
Well, it's different, but I'll be interested because they changed.
Well, I don't foresee the sales going up.
Well,
they're not going to go up. But I don't see them plummeting or being half.
But they changed. But they changed. What my thing is, and I'm not spoiling by saying this because we already know now they changed. I won't say what they changed, but they changed so much about this game that a lot of people had a lot of hype going in. And I feel like this is going to be a game that the longer it's out, and there's a lot of time for people to simmer on this before the next game comes out, like almost 2 years, if not 2 years.
Yeah, but it's just Midgar.
The longer the game, no, you say that, dude, when you play it, fucking buckle your ass up, bro. It's just Midgar. You'd be surprised what they pull off in just Midgar for how much they changed.
I'm okay with change. I embrace it.
And that's fine. So that's what I'm interested in. So there's a lot of I feel like there will be a lot of people. It's going to be split into two camps. People who were excited about this going in, that get that game, play through it, and they're not happy with the changes at all, and don't necessarily look forward to what's coming after. And then there will be people that embrace the change and want to see it. Yeah. But both of those camps right now have all purchased this first game. So the second game is what I'm interested in, how the opening sales are, because that will be really interesting to see the staying power as this game is split across multiple titles. That's going to be super fun to watch, just in terms of like how they keep interest up, because this is the first.
It's going to do extremely well. It's going to sell fuck tons of copies. It's barely going to go down in sales. Mm-hmm. That other camp that you're saying, it barely exists. This game, it barely exists. It's been nothing short of nonstop praises on just about every front. Obviously, your camp is a little bit different, but your camp is small, and people are fucking amped up. I'm telling you right now, if the second part come out tomorrow, they're going to sell another 3 million copies. People are ready for this. And I think the longer it waits, the more excited people are going to get. And the things that people are upset about, they're going to be more forgiving about it, because they're going to go, you know what? I just want more Final Fantasy in my life. And maybe they can do this part right. Maybe they're going to, start peering in the next direction. There's going to be trailers. There's going to be people. It's different than Star Wars.
Yes, it's going to be trailers.
Yeah, but it's going to reignite. It's going to reignite people. It's like, it's no different than Star Wars. It's the exact same thing, except that it's not even decisive as decisive as Star Wars was. The new Star Wars. It's like, it's like if it came out and it was like The Last Jedi, and you got literally half the camp going, fuck, this is the worst thing ever created. And the other half going, you know what? I kind of like the direction. But no, it's like 98% of people going, oh my God, yes. I want all this, more of this, whether it's nostalgia or not. A lot of it is nostalgia. I'm sure the game isn't groundbreaking by any means, but it's given people what they want. And only 2% are going, yeah, no, I'm not really feeling it, bro. They're going to sell, like I said, highly unlikely they're going to sell more copies than what the original did.
Yes.
But I can't see it.
I'm not expecting
it too much less.
Now, don't take it the wrong way. I'm not saying it's going to trend like Final Fantasy 13, where it like halves its sales and then dies in the third installment. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just interested in what the initial day sales of part 2 is after part 1.
It'll probably be 3 million. If this is 3.5, it'll probably be 3 million, high 2s. It's not going to drop that much. I mean, obviously it's going to drop some. We're in a coronavirus right now, so some people are just going to buy the game for the sake of buying the game, and because they're at home doing fuck all, right? Yep. So it's like the digital movie releases. People are renting movies that normally wouldn't rent just for the sake of doing it. So I'm sure we're going to get a drop. And unfortunately, because of the coronavirus, it's almost unfair to even judge a 1 million copy drop from part 2 to part 1, because you can always make that comparison that, well, dude, we're in the middle of a pandemic and everybody and their dogs sitting at home. So people were going to be buying it as well. The only real way to actually compare would be as if there was another pandemic, knock on wood, or you look at the lifelong
the lifetime sales of it,
right?
Which is
you look at like, okay, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, 3 months, 6 months out, how well it's doing. Plus, when part 2 is about to come out, you're going to see a big uptick in more sales to part 1 because there's going to be a ton of people that are going to go, I ain't playing shit until all these parts are out, and I want to get immersed in it, and I want to go, and I just want to play it.
Which is kind of a crazy fucking concept if you think about it, because they're like locking themselves into like, that's a long wait. That's like you're almost.
Some people are going to be like that,
and
right?
That's fine because they're not in any rush, and they're going to get the most complete version of the game, and they'll probably get it all on the PC by the time it's done, which is, for all intents and purposes, will be the best way to play this game. When all the parts are out, of course, and they're all on PC, it will be bar none.
Well, you're going to wait 7 more years, 8 more years before you get before you get to that point, right?
Yeah. So, but you're right. It's gonna continue to sell very well, and
this is gonna break. This is easily gonna break 8 million copies.
Yeah.
By the end of this year, I would say it's gonna sell so much.
Yeah. It is. From my view, after having played it, and I think people forget that Final Fantasy VII is like my second favorite fucking Final Fantasy. It's like people like just see me shitting on it all the time. But from my perspective, after having played it, and it's not that they change things that I have a problem with it. Change is fine. That's okay. Just but change for the sake of change, or just changing, doesn't mean it's good.
But a lot of people think it is, like the vast majority. Right?
What you're seeing everywhere about people talking about this game is not about the changes. What you're seeing people talk about and be excited about is out of their lips. It's, oh my God, I'm seeing my characters, my favorite fucking characters, in glorious fucking fully HD rendered models, and I'm getting the music is coming back, and I'm crying because I'm seeing Aerith in the church and all rendered, and she looks so pretty, and the music is playing in the background, and I'm going on a mad nostalgia trip because Final Fantasy VII is integral to my upbringing as a gamer. People are saying that. People are not saying that they are head over heels for the changes that have been made, and I can't wait. Not that I expect you to think to be in the same position that I am with the game from a story perspective. Just talking about story. But I can't wait until you play it and get all the way through it and see what they do and digest that. Because, and this is not hyperbole, and I will cover this in my review. There is a quite literal. It's insulting, actually, what they do towards the end of the game. It's actually kind of insulting, not to the game, but to the people actively playing the fucking game, which will make no sense to you until you play the game. It's the weirdest thing that I have seen in a game ever a developer do. It's very odd. A lot of people. I don't know if people aren't recognizing what they're doing exactly, but it's a very strange fucking scenario. I can't say without spoiling, but anyway, it's gonna sell well because it's nostalgia. Like you said, Star Wars has been coming out, and Star Wars movies that have been coming out have been dog shit, especially Rian Johnson's Star Wars. Absolute, unadulterated dog shit. Painted real good. In fact, Rian Johnson's is probably the prettiest of the three of the new trilogy. But dog shit. For any number of reasons. It's disrespectful to the original material of Star Wars, it's disrespectful to fans, and it's complete trash. But it made a shitload of money, and if it came out again tomorrow, it would make a shitload of money. But that doesn't mean that it's good. That just means that nostalgia will sell like crazy. And people that are devoted to a property will buy it no matter what. I want to bring it to everyone's attention that Bethesda is still actively and successfully monetizing Fallout 76, and then just sit and ruminate on that for a moment before you apply some logic here that just because something sells like batshit fucking crazy due to nostalgia does not mean that it's good. It just means that nostalgia overpowers bad shit. And it's happened a million times before. You get games like Well, you'll see it when you play it.
Are you done?
You'll see it when you play it. If you can play Final Fantasy VII Remake and not be insulted by the end of the game from a story perspective, then either A, you don't quite get what the story is doing, you haven't quite picked it up on it, or B, you are comfortable, which is fine, there's nothing wrong with it, I don't have a problem with it, but you're comfortable with just being like, you know what, I do like the nostalgia, it's making me feel good, I'm enjoying myself because of the nostalgia, and that's fine. I just have a problem.
The reality is, Adam, some people just don't agree with you. Some people just like the game.
Yes, that's fine.
And it's not just a nostalgia play. They're just saying, fuck your opinion.
Yes.
I actually enjoy it. I enjoy the gameplay. I enjoy what's going on. I enjoy the new stuff.
Yes.
And this whole just purely nostalgia play is not the only reason why people are enjoying the game.
It's the vast majority of it. I promise you, it is the vast majority.
Even if it is, if people enjoy it, then they enjoy it.
And that's fine. Well, the reason why I get tuned up is because people bitch at me when I critique something about the game, and then they'll come at me and they'll say, "But I liked it a lot." And I go, "Well, that's fine. I'm really happy for you. That's fantastic. There are lots of things that I like that you don't like, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't go to you and bitch about the fact that you don't like it or that you have a critique about it, especially if you actually have thoughts about it that aren't just, I don't like it, or I do like it. People try and come to me and start entire conversations if I'm critiquing something about the game, where I'm being in-depth and giving specific examples about why I don't like something, or why I don't think it's particularly good or great, or if I do think it's good, why I think it's good. And then they'll come to me and they'll say, well, you're fucking wrong. I'm like, it's amazing.
Well,
like,
your opinion.
okay,
Who cares? Who gives a shit?
That's
You're
fucking
critiquing a game.
I'm critiquing a game. That's fine. But then they want to have a discussion, and then but all they have for me is, yeah, but I like it. That's where it ends. But they'll still whine and bitch. And I'm too much of a cuck to just ban them from my channel and get them out of my life, because they're not looking for a discussion. They just want to say, yeah, but I like it, but they don't actually have anything to back it up. They're just like, yeah, it's good.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, they don't really need to back anything up, because
they do if they're going to try and start an argument or a conversation.
Well, I mean, if they want to have dialogue with you on why they think it's good,
then they do.
Or for example, if they just don't agree with you, then they just don't agree with you. You know what I mean? Not everybody goes into a game with a super critical way of thinking. You're like that with every single game you play, for good, bad, or indifferent. That's just who you are as a gamer.
That's right.
You overanalyze things, and there's an audience for that totally vibe and mesh with you.
Sure.
And then there's also a big audience that just, like Star Wars, likes to go there.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know that they're watching a technically bad film, but they're having a good time, and they're not interested in telling you why they had a good time. They just like the pew pew, and it was an escape,
and that's fine. Then they just say that, but they don't.
They just said that, hey, I just liked it. I mean, so it is what it is. There's no point in getting worked up about it. Just tell them to go fuck yourself. Hey, you know what? Hey, it is what it is. I don't.
But then I get in trouble for saying go fuck yourself, because like, I'm just expressing my opinion. I'm trying to counter yours, but they're not. They're just saying. So they're screaming into a fucking void with no fucking anything. It's not about expressing your opinion. I'm happy people like this game, because if they didn't, then this was a big waste of time and energy for everyone involved.
Yeah, Square Enix crushed this shit, bro.
It's just don't start a dialogue if you have nothing to bring to it, and then bitch about starting the dialogue. It's a fucking weird circular logic that drives me fucking nuts. Because
I mean, now listen, I'm gonna play it, and I'll give you guys my honest fucking truth. I'm not gonna sit here and
you're gonna give it a 7 or 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I probably will. Who knows?
7 or 8.
Because you know me, if there's something I don't like, I'll fucking tell you. Even if I'm in that corner, I'm not. But I'm also not as super critically. I don't overanalyze shit. If there's certain mechanic things that like get in the way or whatever, I don't completely fault a game or completely shit on a game because one or two things, or I'm having, or I don't let that completely. I'm the type of person that just can let things sort of go and not let it consume my experience,
of course,
and just realize that things just aren't perfect. So by the sounds of it from the reviews, and I've watched many reviews, non-spoiler reviews on YouTube, people are absolutely loving it, and I think I'm probably going to be around the 8 to 8.5. I don't know though. I
think
and
that's
this coming from a guy that Final Fantasy VII is definitely in my top 3 favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
Probably number 1 or number 2 between that Mario 64. It's back and forth, but Final Fantasy VII is the thing I think that cemented me as a gamer. And so, yeah, there is a nostalgia factor for sure. As soon as I get in that menu and I hear that music, it's gonna do something to me. It's gonna automatically put me in that mood. It's like going to a Star Wars movie and you hear that and you got the fucking crawl that comes down. It just gets you and it doesn't matter. Even if you go in there knowing that you're gonna hate the movie, you it's like they groom you to get ready to have a good time. Now the question is, are they gonna disappoint me, or are they gonna create an experience that I can enjoy?
Are you going to leave the theater and go, why did I just watch a half an hour about horse races?
Why did I waste 40 hours of my life playing this game? I could have just played the original. Who knows? I might have that.
But at the end of the day, the comes back and you're like, oh, I forget all about the horse races. I'm going back in for more. And that's my point. That's my point I'm trying to make, is that ultimately nostalgia.
I'm going to be honest, bro. I think I'm going to love it. I think I'm going to
You are going to love it. If not, because just to be the antithesis to me.
I will not do that because when I play it, then we can talk spoilers. I'll be able to agree and disagree with you on certain things. Yeah. But I think the reality is, dude, I liked Final Fantasy 13, bro. How crazy is that? I enjoyed Final Fantasy 13.
So did I.
The Dash 2 and the lightning shit or whatever, garbage.
Dude, I like 13. Yeah, I played and beat 13 twice now. Maybe even 3 times.
Listen, if I like 13, I'm probably gonna like this game. Just from what I'm visually seeing and everything else, I think I'm gonna. So we will see. As long as they don't fuck my characters too hard, then I should be fine. With that, I'll pass.
I can't
What's
wait.
Next? What's next?
I know. I don't have anything else to say. I just can't wait for you to finish the game. It's gonna be fucking amazing. Let's see. Facebook is launching, or has launched at this point, because we're a couple days past. Facebook is launching a dedicated gaming app to take on Twitch and YouTube. And a new Go Live feature is coming for, I think, which is mostly, I don't know if that's only applicable to the mobile side or not, but I think it is. It's specifically for curating and focusing on the streaming community, and it's coming to the Android platform first, iOS second, with Apple's approval. So this is an app, like a launcher app, similar to like Twitch's app or whatever, to have on the phone specifically for the live streaming gaming portion of Facebook. It'll have other stuff too, but it's largely for that. They've seen such a big uptick in viewership and participation from streamers during this time for obvious reasons. Space Godzilla's got everyone fucking trapped inside, and they figured this is a good opportunity to capitalize on it. They were originally going to release this in June, I think I have written down here. Yeah, June. But with what's happening and the demand, they were like, fuck it, move it up to now. And see what happens. They're hoping that having a go live button will also encourage people to just go live. And start up more and more streams that way. So I have a little link here that if you want to, you can click on it, and that will show you kind of what it's looking like right now, just from the mobile perspective. It is coming to the iOS, but they're waiting for Apple's approval. You have to wait for Apple's to green light whatever apps you're going to put on the iOS store. And but yeah, it looks like pretty much every other launcher. But they will also have functionality for, I guess, streaming more casual games that are like more like Facebook games and stuff, for example, as well. And we'll see how that pans out. I mean, Facebook made some moves, as we had talked about in earlier podcasts, where they were buying up streamers as well, like Disguised Toast.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be 100% straight up.
You're going to keep it on. You're going to keep it 100.
I'm going to keep a hot take
okay,
right on this.
Okay.
I actually think Facebook gaming has got a better chance to succeed than Mixer.
Well, I mean, in fairness, there's 2.5 billion users. Just in raw numbers,
yeah,
they like They have for them it's reaching those users now. It's teaching them, because the people that the 2.5 billion users are unfortunately mostly old people at this point that aren't even in this space. And so they wield that number a lot, but they're not really the demographic that latches onto this. There is obviously a lot of people who are part of the demographic who are on Facebook, but it's not so much that 2.5 billion somehow sounds fucking like it's going to be the next big thing. However, I don't disagree with you. I still think they have a better chance. I've
been keeping an eye on Mixer, especially through the Valorant hype, because I wanted to see, like, okay, you know what? If a bunch of drops are happening, maybe they're going to do the same thing over on Mixer, and their numbers are going to like boom on Mixer. No, they didn't.
No.
Ninja right now is playing on Mixer in front of 5,000 people. You know, I've hit those numbers in the last couple of months.
Yeah. It's weird. Mixer, Mixer started so strong with its pickups, but they had no follow-up.
Well, they had nothing to go with it.
They had no follow-up.
And they stopped buying. I thought that they were going to start buying like a big streamer we thought we were getting keep the headline going, right? You know, start grabbing up these big dudes. And they just stopped. Now, I don't know if it's money. I don't know, because now Twitch has been buying up, YouTube's been buying, Facebook's been buying, you know, ever since, Mixer did this. I'm not saying Mixer's out of the game by any means. I still think they're going to grow big. I think they're going to be a good player. But Facebook, on the other hand, man, Facebook is one of the most, I actually got an offer from Facebook. I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna go and just tell you what
it's coming out now.
Coming out.
Spicy.
All right. So I got an email.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if this individual is directly with Facebook or it was an agency that works with Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, they offered to buy me out from Twitch.
Right.
And so I of course was like, all right, you know what? Let's hear it.
Yeah.
You know, what do you
got?
What do you got?
Yeah.
So I wish I could bring this email up, and I just deleted it now. Fuck. Let me see here. Let's see if I can go to my sense. Come on, tell me I still have this. Oh, nope, not that one. I don't know where it is. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys a rough. It's a rough from what I remember. Numbers could be off a little bit, but essentially, what this individual offered, and I don't know if this is terms that everybody's been offered. I'm not a major streamer by any means, you know. So I got a decent concurrent viewership, and they were promising, like they were saying that, like, they promote you, and they have, like, I've seen other streamers on Facebook
advertising and stuff,
like, and they can blast you in front of like hundreds of thousands of people that are into sort of the same. They use you as like an ad, and they put you on like, I've been getting random gamers playing random games on my Facebook feed that I didn't even know they existed. And then they're streaming in front of like 10,000 people, but nobody's really actually watching them. It's just like an impression on a page, essentially. That's what I'm getting out of it. But anyway, basically the run of the deal was this. I asked them straight up, okay, how much and what are the terms? It was 1 year, and they basically pay you. He wanted basically like screenshots or access to my Twitch stats account, and they basically pay you 80% of what you made in the last 3 months. So they averaged what you made in the last 3 months before you signed the deal. So, for example, if you made $5,000 a month through Twitch subscriptions, ad revenue, whatever, bounties, whatever the case may be. Say it's $5,000, right? An example. And you did that for 3 months. Then they were willing to pay you 80% of that amount for an entire year as a salary. Some streamers get bonuses, like a bonus to actually sign. So that could be a $10,000 bonus. Who knows? We didn't get that far in. But basically 80% of your current salary is what this individual was offering. And then whatever you make on top of that. So for example, say I made $100,000 in the run of a year. They're willing to pay 80%. So it basically guaranteed $80,000 salary. But then whatever I make streaming for that year is your uptick.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know.
So
I follow you.
Any subscriptions, donations, sponsorship deals, whatever, is what you would get on top of that.
Yeah.
Essentially. That was basically the runaround.
Right.
And those are rough numbers. I do believe it was 80%. And once again, I don't know if that was a person directly with Facebook or it was an agency that works with them that can offer these deals. And you never know if that was the case, because I didn't get that deep into it because I was just like, no. But if that's the case, they might actually offer you the full amount for salary, and that agency might have been taking the 20%. You know what I mean? Instead of you getting 100, they're taking the 20 and you're getting the 80. So essentially that was the type of deal that was offered my way. And you want to know what my counter was? Oh
no. Oh, your counter was probably fucking ham.
Oh, bro. I said, this is what I said.
Do it for $1 million.
I said 2 year. I said, no, it was less than that. I said 2 year deal, $500,000 guaranteed, $250,000 each year. That's what I said. And they were like, there's just no way. I was like, all right, no way. There's no way in fuck I'd ever, even if you could guarantee me 100% salary, why would I give away what I built for so long?
That's not worth it.
Upside.
Yeah, you need a massive upside.
I need to get years of money worth
up front
to go over there for a year, because you're gonna lose like almost all your viewership to Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
This is Facebook. Who the fuck? How many of our viewers are gonna go over to Facebook to watch? It'd be like starting over again. So it's like, yeah, dude, you better fucking pay me like multiple what I usually get paid in order for me to consider this. And it's going to be guaranteed money. Like, it's going to be guaranteed. That way, you know what? Fuck. And there was a number of hours that you have to stream and things. I didn't even go into all the details, because as soon as I read it, it was like 80%. I was like, fuck, you insane. Maybe if I was like on my dying last leg and I was like, you know what? Maybe I can get one more year. If I knew like the Twitch career was like going to shit, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just go there for the easy paycheck while I try and figure out something else to do with my life. But it's pretty much, I feel like you take that sort of deal, it's where streamers go to die. You know what I mean? So unless you're Ninja and you're getting paid $30 million to move over, because think about it, right? Ninja didn't go and leave Twitch. He would have been on Twitch right now, probably with 100,000 viewers playing Valorant. You have to know the pros and cons of leaving. That's why you give a guy like that $30 million to go for 2 years, so that he can make all that upside. But if you're just going to offer somebody 80% of what you're normally making, what the fuck? Hell no. Doesn't make no sense.
I'm looking at Facebook Gaming right now. The top game seems to be PUBG Mobile, where what seems to be Arabic guy is in front of 18,000 people now.
And I think, honestly, dude, I think a lot of those numbers are just...
Is that just them putting the video in front of people?
That's it.
Yeah.
Like as an impression. Yeah. So when, say, for example, you're on your Facebook page.
Yeah.
And you're scrolling down and you're looking through videos, sometimes you get ads and shit. They're putting those streamers on there, and that's counting as an impression, as a viewership, as a view.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
This is mostly...
Because if you actually go to the stream, the chats, they barely move. You know what I mean? Like, there's not 18,000 people there. It's either that or it's the most unengaged platform in the history of platforms.
Yeah, the one that I'm seeing the most, like in general, we got 3.7K, 3.3, 3.4, 2.2. Those seem more feasible, but I mean, yeah, it's so hard for me to believe like damn near anything.
Yeah.
That these guys put out. You know, the crazy thing is that, you know, the biggest pickup that they had, I think, from Twitch was Disguised Toast. And when I click on there, they don't even like show me him as like a suggested person. I can get to his page, but I'm not seeing like anything. This is wild.
Dude, you know what? Straight up, if you're signing to Mixer or you're signing to Facebook at this point in the game,
yeah,
you're basically doing it.
You're getting the bag
to secure the bag.
Yeah,
that's all it is. Or like the money's got to be so good. The money is actually got to be so good that you are okay mentally with destroying everything you built for the bag and no longer the stress. And trust me, being a streamer, and you know this, it's extremely stressful.
Yeah.
It's how much money am I going to make this month? Is this going to be the same next month?
You're
what am I going to do in 6 months?
You're going there to make a bunch of money up front so that you can take the money, do with it in your life what you need to, and then inevitably just go back to Twitch.
That's it.
And that's what you're doing. So like, and that's why
stream less hours, right? I can guarantee you, bro.
Yeah.
Anybody that's signed to Mixer
and I haven't done this is only streaming what they need to. Yeah.
It's that I haven't done the research, so I'm talking out of my ass, but I can almost guarantee you, every person that's signed to Mixer, and there's been quite a few, and every single one of them,
bare minimum,
they are not streaming more than what they were on Twitch.
I can see that.
Twitch, you had to stream a lot, and you have to stay relevant, to make your paycheck. It is so fucking competitive. And if you're not constantly on, you're losing, period. You go to Mixer, it is a way to just let the weight off your shoulders, collect the bag, and get back to being a fucking human. You know, get back to living a life.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if you're getting $25 million as a top tier guy going to Mixer or YouTube or whatever the fuck, and you don't just take that opportunity to live a normal life for the extent of that contract and just stream the exact allotted hours that you need to put your time in, then you're crazy, because this industry will chew you the fuck up. Because as soon as you go back, you might not be as big as you were before when you hit Twitch again, but you're still going to do fine, and you're still going to pull in lots of fucking money. So it's and you'll have to go back to the grind in terms of, and by I say grind, I mean, stream maybe 6 days a week instead of 4 or 5, and do your 8, 9, 10 hours a day to make it happen. But you're doing it to get the bag. You're doing it to get that big upfront payment. You're not doing it because you think the platform is going to suddenly fucking blow up because your ass is there. You're doing it to make all sorts of money, bro,
and then go back to where the money is.
Ain't no big streamer from Twitch going to Mixer or Facebook on the prospect that they're going to boom with the fucking company.
No.
It ain't going to happen. The only reason why they're there is because they're writing multi-7-figure deals to these streamers to stream 30, 40 hours a week on their platform to give it some legitimacy, which is a nice, amazing break for a streamer that has been grinding for years, 70, 80 hours a week, to make what they're probably already making 7 figures easy a year. But now they have the ability to secure a massive bag and actually enjoy some of the fruits of their labor, and get back to living a fucking reasonable, normal life where they can have a relationship, they can take care of their health, they can fucking go and travel, they can do the things that they always want to do and hit the reset button. And then in 2 years, when their contract is over, they can either re-up with Mixer or Facebook for another big bag, or go to Twitch and get another big bag to go back and create hype on guess who's back?
Yes.
Shroud's back, Ninja's back, and booming again. Or you can just fucking retire. And say, you know what? I made my $30 million.
Fuck it.
Plus the money I made over on the platform. I'm $50 million richer. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm going to buy an NBA team. I'm out of here. Fuck this. I'm over it all. I ain't going back to that 80-hour-a-week grind. For what? I got $50 million in the bank. Fuck y'all. I'm not going to listen to more trolls. Fuck this. And some of them will do that. And some of them will actually renegotiate and probably get another $20, $30 million at Mixer. Or Twitch will go, hey, Ninja, we really miss you over here. How amazing would it be if you came back to Twitch and then told everybody that, hey, you know what? My real family's here, boys. I'm back. And he's going to secure another bag. It might not be as big as the bag over at Mixer.
It's still another bag.
It's going to be another few Louis. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
And there ain't nothing wrong with that. So go ahead and make your paper. You know, it is what it is. But you ain't going to be snatching me up for 80%.
It's almost exactly what happened in the 90s with wrestling. When the WCW came up, and then a bunch of people left because the money was so good at WCW, and they didn't have, and it was guaranteed money, so they didn't even have to wrestle to get the money. Some dudes went there to get the contract and then wrestled like twice, and then just fucked off. Instead of working 350 days a year at WWF, they went to WCW and dicked around because the money and the contracts were so fucking lucrative that it was whatever. And then when it all fucking played out, they went right back to the WWF.
Of course they did.
And just continues. And the guys who left WWF back to WCW, back to WWF, most of them did okay. The guys who started WCW and came over got fucked. But those who went back and forth tended to do pretty okay. And even if they didn't, it was on them for wasting the money that they made when they were at the WCW. And so it's very similar. It's you go where the money is. Even Vince came out and said, I can't be mad if they're going to give you that much money and I can't match it. As a business person, I can't be mad.
No.
Look, you're as a talent, you got to do what you've got to do. You make your fucking money.
You got a family you got to take care of.
You got to fucking do your thing. Maybe you got a coke problem you got to take care of. I don't fucking know, but you go where the money is. And that is exactly what we're going to see here. You're going to see a lot of them, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them get their money, contract runs out, and either that contract renews for another big fucking bag, or they just go back to Twitch for a smaller bag and then decide to do whatever they do. But honestly, if I'm in their shoes, and the discussion of like loving to stream came up in chat, Jacob was talking about it. I'm going to keep it 100 with you there, Jacob. You make $20-30 million. And to get to that point, let's say you're talking about Ninja, where you've done like 10 hours a fucking day, 7 days a fucking week for over a decade, and then you get your money. You might like streaming, but you don't love streaming anymore. You can't do nearly anything 10 hours a day for the vast majority of your adult life and come out the other side and go, yeah, I'll take more of that, please.
Bro, look what they say to Ninja.
They shit on him.
He can't even have a fucking opinion, bro. He's getting fucking dummied on.
To be fair, we dummied him. He made some bad opinions.
He made some bad. But this is but you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if he made bad opinions or not. Who the fuck is going to want to listen to that shit after you've made $50 million?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Plus whatever millions of dollars you made before any of this. You know, you got that fuck you money, like the real fuck you money. Like fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and I might fuck you. That's literally the money. Yes. I don't give a fuck how much you love stream, bro. I love streaming.
Yeah.
I absolutely love streaming. I really do. You want to give me millions of dollars? I'm going to tell you right now, I don't give a fuck how much I love streaming. I'm cutting back so hard. It's not even
severely cutting back.
You know what I love more than streaming? My family, my freedom, my free time. And that's just the reality of it. Would I still do it? Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Amazing. I don't, fuck yeah.
But now it's not hanging over your head that if you don't put like endless hours in, that you're going to be fucked.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, I don't have to grind out 10 hours
No.
to make my daily wage. Bro, you best believe it. The moment my son, my wife wants my attention, or there's something in life that I just want to go do it, I'm doing that over streaming any fucking day of the week. I do that over any type of work. That's the whole, because at the end of the day, it's work. You could say that about any type of work ever. People could love doing accounting and love numbers. You get paid enough, you're not going to want to do what you're a slave.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs, okay? And to get to the very top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where it says self-actualization in the modern world rarely, if ever, involves what you do to make money. And so if what you do to make money makes you so much money that you can then ditch the fuck out of that to go and actually achieve self-actualization through things that matter to you and your fucking soul, and not just the concept of making money, then that is what you do. That you've conquered Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Most people only make it halfway up the fucking pyramid for their entire life and never make it any further. So to be able to go in, bust your ass and be stuck with everyone else halfway up the fucking pyramid.
Yeah.
And then make the big enough money to skip all the fucking pyramid, get to the top, and say, all right, if you want to check out, cash out now, and just do what makes you happy, and do whatever you want, whenever you want, to self-actualize, you can do that now. That's what you're going to see people do. Some people tie themselves to making money as their self-actualization, and that's fine. But the majority of people, it is not about making money anymore. It's, can I spend time with my kid? Can I spend time with my wife? Can I spend time with my friends? Can I go in and
not feel guilty about it?
Can I go pursue hobbyist things? Can I go learn things? Is there things that I would have loved to have learned, but I didn't have the time to because I couldn't take the time away from work? Can
I stream when I want to, opposed to I have to? You know what I mean? Or I think what the biggest problem is, especially in our industry, is the viewer has a good time. Right. So the viewer, this is their escape, right? They enjoy the content, is what they do on their free time after school, work, whatever. It's their escape, and they identify this as a good time. And a lot of times the streamers are having a fun time and stuff like that, but they also don't understand that it is work. Just because you're playing a video game doesn't necessarily mean it's any different than the guy or gal at the grocery market or whatever as their job, because it feels like a job.
Ask me how much I wanted to wake up yesterday and play 7 more hours of Final Fantasy VII Remake.
How much?
0. Exactly 0. I had to will myself to turn on the stream and play Final Fantasy VII Remake because I'm trying to make it my job to review games to earn money. That is what I'm trying to do. In order for me to do that, I'm going to have to play a lot of games that I might not review poorly. There are lots of games that I've reviewed well that I didn't like to play. But it doesn't mean that I don't like playing or that I like playing games that I don't like playing. And you have to do it. There's no two ways around it. There are days that you're going to wake up and go, you know what? I just want to play some Valorant for 6 or 7 fucking hours. I don't want to RP today. I don't want to deal with the rigors of RP today. I just want to play some Valorant. But you know what you do? You do RP because it's your job, and then you do Valorant on the side. And something that a lot of people also don't necessarily recognize is that when talking about that hierarchy of needs, which is like fucking talked about a lot, but is that people sometimes equate escapism with self-actualization as if they had the time that they just play games, which is their escape from real life, or watch movies or whatever. That's not self-actualization. That is you escaping from the rigors of your daily grind, of your life, of your job, of your situation. That's what that is. That isn't necessarily self-actualization. Self-actualization is the stuff that actually feeds your fucking soul, that you go out and you find something to do. You find your passion and you go do that thing. And it's rarely entertainment. If ever. It is not, your self-actualization isn't sitting on the couch and watching the Tiger King for the 58th time in a row. It is not going out and playing your entire Steam library so that you can finally catch up on your back catalog. It's going out and helping build houses in low-income communities. It's learning other languages. It's exploring the world the fuck around you. It's doing things for other people and doing things that for yourself. That is self-actualization, and people sometimes conflate escapism with self-actualization, and that ain't it. So for these people doing this, earning that money and coming back, playing video games, whether it's for a living or not, is not self-actualization. And if you make $30 million in this world, even today, $30 million is not what it was 30 years ago, but $30 million is still more than enough to retire on and do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yep.
You're moving away from just pure escapism. You might do escapism up front, and then you get bored, and then you go after self-actualization. And that's a big difference.
Yep. And you see it all the time, guys. And Adam had him hit the nail right there and there. And trust me, this isn't me bitching about my job. I love my job. There's really only one other thing that I doing real estate that I actually am as passionate and enjoy doing as much. But he's right. If I want to go and I want to play a different game or whatever, I have to make a choice. Do I want to make a living today? Or do I want to go and do something for me? And a lot of the time is I have to earn that right. I might have to put in a lot of hours for 5-6 days and judge to see how well I'm doing before I reward myself to do the thing that I just want to do for the sake of doing it. And I'm sure there's a ton of people, and you guys can probably relate as the viewer over the years of watching streamers. But streamers sometimes they decide to do that exact thing where they go, you know what? I want to play this other game because I just want to have some fun and I want to escape from like the regular grind and I'm just tired, I'm burnt out, I want to do something else. And they do that. And then it feels good. But then they do it too long. And then their career dies.
Yeah.
Their viewership tanks. Their sub count tanks. The negativity, what happened to your viewers? It starts going on in your mind where it's like, fuck. And then you realize how far you're behind. And it depresses you because you know how much work you have to do to get back to where you were before you even decided to get there, and you weren't even happy when you decided to make a switch or do a break.
That's assuming you can even get back to where you're going.
That's even assuming you can get back to where you're going.
Yeah.
And I see so many streamers fall victim to this, and it's because they do what they want. It's no different than somebody that works a regular 9 to 5. When I say regular, like say work at a restaurant, and you have your regular schedule, and somebody's offering you shifts. Hey, you want to take my shift? And you say no. You say no. You say no. You say no. No. I want to go and do my own thing tonight. I got plans. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do that. Eventually, they're just going to stop offering you shit, and there's going to be somebody else that's going to start taking those shifts, and they're going to be eager and hungry to take your meal, to take your fucking shift. And it's no different what it's like on Twitch or any other streaming platform. As soon as you start getting complacent or you want to just do you for your own mental, I see this all the time from my viewers, and God bless them because they're right. But the problem is a lot of them, they don't understand that that's not the consensus. And they say this. I'm sure you've heard this too, Adam. Hey, Adam, Jeff, just play what you want. I'm here to support you. I'm going to support you no matter what. Listen, do what you want. You want to play Monopoly? Do what you want. Hey, you want to play the Resident Evil 3 remake? Just take a day, man. Just do what you want. I'll be here. I'll support you. So you do what you want. You have 1/10 of your viewers. Your normal sub count is like 8% of what you normally get. You lose 60 followers. And it's like, yeah, you know what? The core, we love you. Those are the heroes. But the problem is if your core isn't big enough, you're fucked. And you do that too long, the reality is you get put in a bubble and you just got to grind that bubble out. And the reason why these deals, and I'm bringing this right back to the Mixer and the Facebook and the Ninja and the Shrouds, The reason why these deals are so appealing is because they can finally secure the bag and do whatever the fuck they want within reason, because there's going to be a certain hours that they got to allocate to being on the platform. But finally, they have the freedom to do what they want, and they're still getting paid financially for taking that break. And that there is nothing more. I would leave Twitch tomorrow for $1 million. Give me, let me pay off my house. You want to write me a check to pay off my house? I'll leave fucking platform for a year. Fuck. Just to have that weight off your shoulders. But the reality is, most people don't get those deals. Most people don't get those opportunities. And that's the reason why I believe, and I'd have to talk to Ninja or Shroud. I believe that's why they took it. Because you're already looking at multimillionaires that are making $5, $7, $10 million a year to begin with. But if you can guarantee them $20, $30, $40 million for 2 years of their time, and they can finally just do 40 hours a week and not have that pressure of being and playing Fortnite for 10 hours a day or playing Apex Legends 10 hours a day, when you're getting sniped, you're dealing with hackers and cheats, you've already got millions in the bank, but yet you got sponsors that you got to appease. You got to do all this other stuff. You've got pressures. You got your own personal ego that's really hard to get rid of. And you got motherfuckers that are coming after you number-wise, and they're calling you out about it. And you got wars between fans, and everything's going crazy. And you can finally get a bag and secure all of that struggle that you're going to go through for the next 2 years guaranteed. And then whatever you make on the platform is just icing on the cake. Take the money. That's why they do it. If they loved it, they'd say, fuck Mixer. I'm having so much fun on Twitch. Fuck the bag. Right? That's what they do.
I'm having such a good time.
I'm having a blast here. Fuck 30 million. I'm already making 10 over here. Who cares? I'm bleed purple. No, man.
I bleed money.
I want to get out of the game, bro. I want to slow down, man. I want to live. That's what it is. I would take Ninja's 5,000 viewers opposed to 100,000 on Twitch during Valorant, and you guarantee me my $30 million.
Easy.
I'm out of here. I don't care if I was I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Easy choice.
I don't care, right? So that's what it is. So good luck, Facebook. I'm actually curious to see how well this Facebook app does and what the viewership is like. Because this is interesting.
You know what? I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And the reason why I don't think it's going to go anywhere is because the platform isn't youthful enough, and its acquisition rate of youthful viewers that fill this market segment isn't enough to float them. What they're doing right now is this is just another thing for them to go to the boardroom and say, "Hey guys," or the investors say, "Hey guys, this is our project for this year. This is where your money's going. Hope you like it. It's a big thing," and they can show lots of numbers. And they'd be like, "Twitch does this, and they make this much money, and even Microsoft's getting in on it, and we've got 2.5 billion fucking users, and we can acquire with this and synergy and blah, blah, blah," and just like verbal diarrhea into the fucking boardroom and to their investors. And just be like, "We're doing this thing," and everyone's like, "Yay, our money's being put to good," and that's what this is. Because they don't have, like, if they were really worried about this wouldn't have been on fucking like Facebook. This would have been like on Instagram, which they own anyway.
Can you imagine TikTok streaming, right? How big that would be.
Well, TikTok streaming wouldn't even shock me anyway.
I don't think it could be gaming.
Well, that's just Periscope at this point, which is like Twitter owned, right? If they were really trying to go after this as like a video platform and like live streaming and have the youth involvement, then it would be on Instagram underneath the brand. Facebook, like so many people don't even know Instagram. Still don't even know that Instagram is owned by Facebook, and so the brand, the
that's actually a good thing.
The level of pain that Facebook goes through in terms of like how badly they're viewed by people our age and younger, it cannot be cannot be ignored in this instance. Yeah. People are not going to sign up on Facebook to watch people play fucking games. It's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
They're gonna make as much money as they can with this little project, break even if they can, so it's a project the investors are happy with. They get, break even, stock price doing their thing, and that's the show. That's all they're interested in. I don't think this is going fucking anywhere. But for those people that got picked up, like Disguised Toast and others, get your money. And then go back to Twitch.
There you go.
This is basically how that's going to go.
Secure the bag.
Secure that bag. Speaking of securing the bag, Riot attempts to address player concerns about its kernel-level anti-cheat Vanguard by dramatically increasing the bounties for finding practical exploits. So they've already had this bounty program for, I think, a couple of years now, whereby they put the call out that if people can find ways of, practical ways of finding exploits in their software, that they will pay them based on what type of exploit they find and can prove. They will pay them X number of dollars for finding that exploit. It's like sourcing out your fucking
the people that could fuck you.
Yeah,
you're like, hey, find it and I'll pay you.
And I'll pay you. So they obviously heard people talking about the fact that they've got this kernel level thing, which is honestly still fucking crazy to me that they have that. But this is one of the ways that they're trying to help people be at ease, I guess, by saying that, look, we're confident enough in this that if you can find kernel level exploits, for example, that's the highest level payout, is the $100,000. If you can find a kernel level exploit, that would allow people to piggyback that on the system boot so that they could inject whatever the fuck they wanted to into the system. That's what they're paying right now, $100,000 US. So they basically doubled the or close to it.
I think that's a smart play. I think that's a fucking hell of a smart
bounties.
Play.
Yeah.
I think that's one hell of a way to do it, because you're proving everybody. It's going, hey, you know what? We know that this shit's so good that if you find out how to break it, we're going to pay you $100,000 in cash.
Yeah.
And not only that, when they are, and you put a bounty like that up in the middle of a coronavirus, yep, there are people right now, as we speak, trying to make $100,000.
Absolutely.
But not only that, when people when they realize they can't get in, it's going to make them go, hey, we told you so. And not only that, on top of it, they have to be so confident, because not only are they going to give out $100,000 somebody gets through, but they're going to look fucking awful publicly if somebody finds a way in. And people are going to go, what in the fuck?
And you know what's really funny, though, if they do this, is that $100,000 is pissing in the wind in comparison to an actual exploit coming out and then having the lawsuit that would come out of that.
It's smart.
So it sounds like a lot of money, but they're actually ripping you off. The value in an individual finding a practical exploit for a kernel level fucking thing like Vanguard is a hell of a lot more than $100,000 to somebody like Riot.
If whoever finds one, if it ever happens, they need to be smart about it and say, hey, yo, listen, I found a way in, and you're going to pay me X amount of millions of dollars.
Or I'm going to release it on the internet.
Or I'm going to
that's probably illegal.
I don't know. I don't know.
I believe that's blackmail, but
it might be. It might be. Hey, you know what? Theoretically, if I found one, would you pay me this much?
Yeah. Theoretically
speaking.
Yeah. But yeah, at least they're doing that. It will likely have people be a little bit more comfortable with the idea.
Just
maybe extortion.
Riot.
Maybe.
Hey, I want $3 million, or I'm going to release this.
Semantics, right? What are you going to do?
I think that's pretty cool, Riot. So
yeah, no, it's a good idea, for sure. And two birds with one stone, right? It's like putting their money where their mouth is, and also gives people a reason to find the exploit, so that it's somebody who is likely more loyal to Riot than somebody who's actively trying to fuck them.
Yep.
And so yeah, there you go. Speaking of security, secure your Nintendo accounts. Many multiple reports of third-party, unauthorized third-party access to Nintendo accounts has been reported. Anything and everything. Lots of people basically getting into the accounts, purchasing a lot of like gift cardy type stuff or V-Bucks. It's always fucking Fortnite every fucking time. But Nintendo has heard enough and has seen enough on their end that they're saying, okay, so they made an announcement. They said, all right, guys, just a reminder, give a good password to your Nintendo account and make sure that you have two-step verification enabled on your account to reduce or eliminate the chances of this happening. Because unfortunately, it is happening a lot. I'm not sure why it's happening all of a sudden and why it's so easy for people to get in. I don't know if information was leaked and we just don't know about it yet or what or how people are getting in. But this also apparently was happening in Japan a few days prior, and so this is not new news to them. It's just now happening outside of the country there. So, yeah, if you have a Nintendo account, make sure your password's good. Two-step verification, that bad boy. And save yourself getting cucked by some idiot buying V-Bucks for their Fortnite account. Next up, it's the thing that just keeps on giving, Jeff. Cooking Mama Cookstars saga continues with a Twitter response from Planet Entertainment. So last week we had the Twitter post or the website post from the IP holder, and now we're getting an announcement from the developer who was licensed out by the IP holder to make the game. And so here we go. I will read this. This is their response on Twitter. Planet Entertainment wants to explain the mystery surrounding the Nintendo Switch game to all Cooking Mama Cookstar fans. Office Create, that's the owner of the property, the rights holder to Cooking Mama, approved a detailed game design in 2019, which tells you this game was conceptualized, developed, and pushed out the door in like under a year. First Playable, which is the name of a game developer, and Planet followed the exact approved design. That design is the exact game on Nintendo Switch, which also includes many additional Office Create suggestions which add gameplay value. Unfortunately, creative differences arose as Cooking Mama Cookstar was near completion that were outside of the scope of our agreement and the game design approved by Office Create. By contract, Planet is fully within its rights to publish Cooking Mama Cookstar. There is no active litigation or ruling that prevents Planet from publishing the game. Cooking Mama fans have been very enthusiastic about Cooking Mama Cookstar, including the many new features, including vegetarian and unicorn food, potluck party, plus more. Sounds exciting, Jeff. We appreciate
so fun.
We appreciate the overwhelming positive response and support from Cooking Mama Cookstar fans. Office Create has our total respect. We thank them for their wisdom and wish them well. This sounds like the biggest crock of shit I've heard in a long time. I don't believe a fucking ounce of what's coming out of here. Yes, it happens that sometimes when you're on contract and people start to request things after revisional periods and they're not willing to pay more money, that can sometimes happen. This is worded and done so poorly that I just can't believe the fucking thing that it's written. It just doesn't even sound good, and it's written for fans. This is not like anything else. This is just a play. They don't mention the PlayStation 4 release that we were talking about last week that has apparently been filed. They don't mention any of that shit. They're just like, hey guys, we don't have anything that we're doing that's outside of our contract, and we love our fans, and they love us. And, you know, we have all respect for Office Create, and we thank them for their wisdom and wish them well. Doesn't sound right to me.
Yikes, dog.
Doesn't sound right to me. So,
the Cooking Mama plot thickens.
The plot fucking thickens again, and now we get to wait.
Next week, we're going to hear more.
Who's gonna have the response next week? Find out. Dragon Ball Z. What will really be fun, like we're still waiting for to see, and they're saying apparently there are no legal grounds So now we're going to find out if there are legal grounds. If
something tells me there is
a lawsuit that comes through for that game. So there you go. The plot thickens once again for Cooking Mama Cookstar. Speaking of plot thickening, GameStop plans to start opening some of their locations again for some reason.
Probably because they have to.
They took executive cuts, and now they're reopening stores in some locations under the banner of the essential service once again.
Well, they need to, or they're going to go bankrupt, bro.
That's
literally
like opening up like a handful of locations. Is that going to stop them from going bankrupt?
Well, they need to pay the rent. They got to pay their leases. That's the problem. They're trying to stay afloat. If they ain't making if a place is making no money and they can't pay their lease, they're done. And I guarantee you these guys ain't sitting on a bunch of liquid. It ain't happening.
The craziest thing about all this right now is that in the States, and I think even to a degree here in Canada, but I think we may or may not be handling it a bit better, and it could be state by state basis as well in this down below the border, is that like everywhere, the government says, okay, non-essential businesses, you're closed. That's just coming down from on high. You're closed. Okay, fine. So everyone goes home, and lots of people stop making this thing called money. But the thing that doesn't stop are the people coming to collect on bills and mortgage payments and credit card payments and insurance payments and car loans and everything else, or food. But yeah, that's what they should be spending the money on. Then they go out there and they get like a $1,200 check or some shit, and that might cover their mortgage if they're lucky. And then they still have all this shit coming after them. And it's the same for small businesses and even some big businesses, like you're going to see here as well. Is you're not wrong. They've got to pay bills, and the banks, at best, are doing like in some instances are putting shit on furlough, which all that ends up resulting in is you get like a 3-month break, quote unquote, and then
you still got to pay it.
But then when it comes up at the end, they don't tack the 3 months on the end of the loan, which would be sensible, but they expect the 3 months that you didn't pay plus that current month in a lump sum payment. But they're not working or making money for those 3 months, so it doesn't make any fucking sense. The only way that it makes sense is if you simply defer and tack on to the end. You're extending, so your mortgage is now longer, the leases are now on your cars are now longer. You just take the months that you're not paying and tack them on to the end. Everyone's still getting their money. Everyone's still going to be getting fucking paid. It's just not right now. And so I wouldn't be surprised if you're right by saying that maybe not all of their locations, but maybe there are some storefronts that they have
expensive as shit,
that are just
bro.
expensive as shit, and they need to pay their fucking bills.
Yeah. Prime real estate costs a fuck ton of money. AMC right now just got a $500 million loan to stay afloat, the theaters, and in Florida, now they have publicly went out and said to the people that they're leasing, because these AMC theaters got like prime real estate. So they've gone out and they're trying to work with the landlords to work out some sort of, hey, we'll get you when we get back up in business. We're projected to go back up in business, hopefully in July sometime, blah, blah, blah. And some of them, like humans, are working out what they can. But also some landlords have the same constraints as what these people have, because these landlords have mortgages. And
they have to go to the bank.
Exactly. Not all banks are doing
No.
what some of the big financial institutions are doing.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work like that. So what Florida, there's a AMC place in Florida where their lease per month is $52,000.
Oh my God.
And AMC can't pay. So they said, listen, I can't pay you. So these guys are now suing AMC.
Oh no.
But here's the kicker. Within the clause, of the lease, and it's like this for a lot of like triple net leases and things like that, where you have big companies like Walgreens, AMC's, McDonald's, although McDonald's usually owns their properties, but Home Depots, like big brick and mortars that typically we're not going to go to business. Right?
Well, they lease because it's cheaper on for tax purposes. Yeah, and
they do long-term leases. Yeah. So you're looking at anywhere between
depreciation's a hell of a drug, Jeff.
It's a hell of a drug. It's a hell of a drug, and it's a great drug when you're in real estate. So they have leases from anywhere from like 10 years to like 30 years.
Yeah, and
so the lease that they have with this Florida, I think it's like a mall. It's $52,000 a month, but in the terms, if you do not pay, for 1 month, right, which is usually not a problem for big companies like this, they always have the money, but if you do not pay for 1 month, they can sue you for the entire duration of your signed lease for the remaining of your lease.
God.
So now they're suing AMC for $7.2 million.
Holy
and chances are they're going to win because it's in their lease.
Wow.
That if you miss a month, it doesn't matter what it's for.
Wow.
They're going to sue you for the whole thing, right? So, and they know that AMC has got the money, or they're going to have to pay. So, who knows what kind of lease agreement these GameStops have.
It's so fucking wild, bro.
It's
I retweeted a video. Angry Vic, I think is his name. He's got a YouTube channel. He's like angry. He's basically like a fucking raging Italian New Yorker. Yeah, Jeff is full blown naked under there. And he's doing it comedically. It's a full blown angry New Yorker rage, and it's Italian, and it's the funniest shit. But he's speaking the truth, hard fucking truth about the whole situation, where it's like, look, everyone, all of these banks, all the governments and everything, they always tell the average person at home to always salt away money for a rainy day. You never know when shit's going to come up, and most banks will say you should have 6 months worth of money sitting around so that if anything goes tits up and all of a sudden no income's coming in, you can still pay all of your bills and do everything you need to do for 6 straight months.
Who the fuck?
Nobody, because it's almost impossible. However, what's really wild about that is that the same institutions that are preaching that shit,
they can't do it.
These are institutions that haven't had a financial crisis in over a decade, where they're making in a quarter billions of dollars in profits, not revenue. This is after they've paid everything. They have billions left over. And for some reason, we're barely even in a few weeks into this pandemic, and they're coming for multi-billion-dollar plus bailouts, and still looking at the average Joe going, that fucking loan you got, bro? That mortgage you got, bro? Did you save your 6 months worth of fucking payments?
Hey, Dave Ramsey's been on the radio for 30 years, guys. Why haven't you been listening to him? 3 to 6 months. Save it up. What's wrong with you?
And it's crazy. Send you
$1,200.
It's crazy because when it comes to like services like healthcare, or bailing out the average worker right now, you know what that's called, Jeff? It's called socialism. But when it's bailing out banks and fucking airlines and all these other major multi-billion-dollar companies with big-ass, rich, white, motherfucking fat-ass, balding, gotta pay for sex for the majority of their life, sweaty, useless, oxygen thief humans, that's not socialism, that's capitalism. And it's working as intended.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, GameStop probably need to go to work, Adam. That's probably what it is.
They just need to go to work. They got no options.
They need to pay rent. They need to pay rent.
Oh my fuck.
They need to pay rent. Imagine being a company like GameStop that is already dying. And you've got like say you got 300 stores. None of them are open. and you're already dead. Like, what are you gonna do? I mean, you're gonna go bankrupt. They don't go back to work. They're gonna go bankrupt because all those malls and all those brick and mortars, they're gonna want their money.
Yeah. And they want their money because somebody else, they owe somebody else money.
Yep.
Anyone seeing this like a bit of a fucking Ponzi scheme by any chance? It's just like there's a pyramid.
The banks.
It just goes up and up and up.
And the funny thing is, a lot of these banks built bailouts, and like you said, it just ends up fucking you in the long term anyway. It's just like, it's imaginary bucks. It's like Trump bucks.
Yeah, it's imaginary bucks.
And the next thing you know it, you're going to have like the fucking IRS or the CRA or whatever a year down the road. Hey, you remember all that money you took? Why didn't you claim that shit or whatever? Now you owe us this. Oh, hey, you didn't read the fine print. You actually didn't qualify. Now we're going to need all that money back.
Oh, bro.
This is the shit they do, bro.
What's even fucking... And there's another point that was brought up in that video was that it's like, look, especially in the States, right? Like here in Canada, we pay more in taxes, but we pay less for services over our lifetimes on average because of how the system works, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the States, they're still paying a lot of money in taxes, both federally and at the state level, etc., but they're not getting a lot of social services because that's called socialism, so we can't possibly fucking do that. It's not possible. We can't be doing any of that shit. So they're paying a bunch of taxes for what? Now we're getting down to it where the $1,200 or whatever that they're getting put back in their pockets, that's just basically tax money, but it's like the government's like, we're going to be nice to you. We're going to give you our money. And it's like, no, bitch, you're just giving me
our money.
My money back while this is all fucked.
Oh my god. There it is.
It's just not, it's crazy. You should watch it. If you haven't seen the video, dude, I retweeted earlier. Watch that video. You'll laugh. You'll laugh your fucking ass off, and then you'll be sad. And then you'll be sad, but then you'll be happy because you're like, I'm in Canada, and thank fuck, it's not that bad here. It's not perfect, but like up here, it was like the students were like, how are we can't get CERB. So what the fuck are the students gonna do? And like inside of 5 days, the prime minister comes out and goes, hey,
we got billions for you.
We got billions of dollars for you, and everyone went,
$8 billion.
Okay,
thanks, thank you.
So,
bro, you want to know? You want what's funny is everybody's getting these $2,000 checks, right? And fucking as soon as those checks hit people's bank accounts, my entire Facebook feed, was filled with people suddenly looking for $2,000 beaters, like cars.
Yes.
There were people that were like, bro, I'm rich now. Like I'm
rolling in it. Oh, they're wasting the money, bro.
Bro, they're fucking.
They're wasting the money.
Well, the thing is, some people just don't even need it. You know, they're getting it, and they don't need it. Either they're still working, or
which is exactly why when I was watching Justin's like daily thing the other day. You know, he goes outside the home, his beard's getting longer, his hair's getting fucking longer, he's looking more and more haggard every day, and he comes outside, and a fucking reporter asks, no joke, fucking asks, so, how do you defend the decision not to make CERB universal? And I just stopped for a second, I was like, what? You want to give every living, breathing Canadian $2,000, even though the vast majority of them don't need it? And also, how much money do you think the Canadian government has sitting around right now?
We're gonna have to start. What a stupid fucking question that is.
What kind of a fucking question? And you can I can see Justin's soul dying on the inside.
It's like an Oprah show. Hey, you get $2,000,
and
everybody gets $2,000 a month.
It's like you just made $500,000 last year. You get $2,000 a month.
Hey, you made $500,000 last year. How about $2,000? That's gonna change your life. Instead, why don't you give it to the people that fucking need the money?
Holy fuck!
Jesus, my God.
It's absolutely, it's nuts.
It's crazy, bro.
It's fucking nuts.
I love it. What's
next?
next?
Crazy times. Steam's original.
Justin Trudeau getting a $2,000 check in the mail. You know, yeah, baby.
I made it. Justin Trudeau be on Facebook looking for a $2,000 beater.
Listen, I'm just looking for something that can get me through until August. Listen, it's got to have a safety inspection sticker on it. Tires got to be, not so bald, easy on gas, 4-door.
Can you make it happen for $2,000?
Can you make it happen for $2,000? $2,000 or less.
Fuck. Steam's original source engine code, which is what powers CSGO, Team Fortress 2, and a whole host of other games, honestly. The updated version from 2017, 2018 was leaked to the public. Somebody leaked the entire fucking source code.
Great.
For that. So guess what, guys? The source engine is now open source. Not by any decisions by Steam. Steam came out and said, they're not too concerned about it as inconvenient as it may be. They're not too concerned that it's going to result in anything. However, so two things really come out of this. One, easier for people to make mods for games that involve source. Two, way easier for hackers. So that might be, we're
not overly concerned, but
we're not overly concerned, but my image is, you're in a sinking ship and there's like cartoon and like another hole opens up and they go put one finger in that hole and another hole opens up and they get another finger in that hole and all of a sudden they're running out of fingers to put in hole. That's where we're at.
Fun.
That will be interesting to see what comes out of that, both from modders and from hackers. Next up, Phil Spencer, our man from Xbox, came out and said, he took to Twitter talking about how excited he is about the reception of the Xbox Series X, which has been, in fairness to him, a lot better than the original Xbox or the Xbox One launch. I believe your wife is behind you right now.
Yep.
Oh, look, here it is. My love, you're going to come see Kai time? Good time to walk in the room, my love. There he is. The boy. Tomato himself. Is that a Christmas outfit? He's wearing a Christmas onesie.
Yeah. Well, it was really big from an outfit, so he likes wearing these at night.
Get
look at
the
his head,
onesie on.
His head. Can you see it?
Yeah, look, the bump on his head.
It's getting a lot better.
He's growing a second brain up there.
You've grown a little second there. Look at a little bump.
A little bump on his head. He fell and hit his head on a door corner. There's Kai. There's Kai.
All right, buddy.
No, you're tired. You want to go to bed.
We got to get back to it. Go see mommy. Come on. Love you. Good night.
Bye, Kai. That second brain coming off the side.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah, so he took to Twitter and in fairness to him, the reception has been a lot better because as it turns out, when you make a console that isn't specifically designed to pipe out NFL season games, people get excited about it.
Hey, can you imagine? Could you imagine the Xbox the Xbox One coming out with their NFL shit this year when there's no NFL happening? Hey, guys, we're going to have to pivot here.
We're going to have to pivot to something better.
We're going to have to. Well, there's really no sports. So, I mean, can you imagine trying to sell it to an audience that your number one thing is watching NFL?
And you know what? If there was one person who would still do it, it would be Don Matrick.
He would. He'd go out there.
He'd double down on that bad boy like he doubled down on everything.
He'd be talking about the greatest NFL VODs you've ever seen on Xbox One.
I will never forget the build up to the Xbox One and just being so confused how they never talked about video games, and for some reason they were using NFL players to pitch everything, and it was just Don Matrick walking around with men 14 times his size, discussing how dope it was that you could hook your set-top box up to the Xbox One and use it as a guide to watch football games.
What a weird time, bro. It was so tone deaf. And it was like
it's tone blind, tone deaf. It was the Helen Keller of tone.
Straight up. It was like, what are you doing? You're in a room full of nerds. You've got hundreds or millions of people, gamers, watching your shit. Nobody's giving a fuck about your NFL stuff.
No.
So needless to say, they're doing a lot better this time around.
Much better this time around. Yeah, so he's talking about how excited he was about that, but he was also, he said, look, I hear you. Lots of people, while they're excited about the hardware, they're excited that it's that developers are excited about it. People want to see games. They're interested. That was a concern from the last generation. They want to see games, and so we said, good news. The next major releases that we talk about, like news releases and stuff, going to be games. So now they're shifting away from talking about the console. They've already done that now.
Good.
Everyone knows. They had there's a video, and I can't remember the YouTube channel that did it, but they literally had at the headquarters a deconstructed Xbox Series X that then the YouTuber got to like piece together to build a Series X. So you could see every component, the actual components that build to make up the Series X. I mean, they're way super in depth. Their marketing has been way over the top, better than it was before. And now now it's the 11th hour, Jeff. Now does Microsoft have the games to sell the consoles this time around and not just rely on third-party development?
Good news. All of these consoles are going to be delayed a year. So we're going to have...
I don't think they are. I think they're coming out at the end of the year.
They ain't coming out this year. They ain't coming.
I think they're coming out at the end of the year.
I'm calling it. They ain't coming. They ain't coming. I can almost guarantee... I mean, listen, if the world gets back to normal, say August...
Well, it's normal just means...
You know what I mean by normal.
Slightly more open.
Yeah. I don't see it.
Look, man.
I don't see
there's going to be like 5 GameStops open. So, there's a lot of brick and mortar available to make it happen. I don't think it's going to affect... I don't think it's going to change it much. What I do think is going to happen, because like all the brick and mortar stores that people normally buy these consoles from all ship online anyway. Best Buy ships online, ships faster than Amazon sometimes for me. Amazon obviously is number one right now for that. Any of the Fry's Electronics in the state, like if they're selling, like everyone ships, and they have to, because nobody, like you said, can come into the store. And so the safest way right now is to just ship, and it's the only way that they can keep making money. And so the companies that are going to survive this are the ones that either already have the infrastructure for doing global or national shipping, and the ones that don't are fucked. So, I mean, I would be shocked if they delayed the consoles.
See, I think they're going to delay, not because the ability to physically go and pick up a console, because like you said, they can ship these things.
Yeah.
They'll be shipped, and there will be some brick and mortar that will have them. But on top of that, I just think in terms of manufacturing, things are super backed up. I think the everyday people that could typically afford to go out and buy a console, just because of the rough economic times that we're in, I don't think
Jeff, that $2,000 beater on Facebook becomes find me an Xbox Series X, bro.
I know it does, but you know what? I feel like they need certain. They're going to be looking for certain numbers and projections, and I feel like if they feel that they can't get there, then they're going to wait. At least, I'm still thinking it's going to be 2021. I think it's probably going to be March 2021.
If there was a delay, I would be shocked if it went further than spring.
Full year. Yeah. It won't be a full year, but I think it's going to be February, March, probably March of 2021 is when we're going to see these consoles. I just think from right now, from this perspective, it's not happening. It all depends on what the world is going to be like come 3 months from now. And if things are getting better and better, it's possible. But man, it's not looking good, bro. It's not looking good. It's just not looking good.
Yeah,
think about the games, just the games in itself. Now, I know you can still make games remotely, but pretty much everybody that's working right now, a lot of people that are working right now are not working, or at least not at that level. There's going to be so many backups, and just these consoles have got to be basically ready and already being manufactured now. And they probably are to some degree, but the amount of backup in these factories And the games that they're producing, the software, the everything that they're doing, I just don't see it happening. I just don't.
I would say that if there is a delay, at most you'll see it spring of 2021.
Yeah, I think that's what
but it would be before fiscal year end, because you have to remember there's a lot of fucking shareholders going, guys, I know you got the fucking Space Godzilla problem right now, but time's a fucking ticking. Fiscal year end is coming, and we want this shit out so that our stock price can go up. I want my dividends. Yep. So if there's a delay, I don't think it's going to be. It certainly won't be a year, because they'll miss the window for the fiscal year. Yeah. It'll be at most just before fiscal year end to push it a bit. But PlayStation's already mentioning. Yeah, but PlayStation's already mentioning. Look, we're going to go ahead with this, but you have to understand, supply is going to be low. For these consoles coming out the gate for a number of reasons. And so I think it will be more of, as we get closer to that time, it'll be more of like the companies getting people used to the idea, getting like groomed that it might be hard to get their hands on this. They're going ahead with it, but it's going to be hard to get your hands on it. And
it's just not an idea. It's just not an ideal way to launch a console. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, it's definitely not. It's a hideous time.
I feel like they're going to want to launch it in a normal way so they can get as big numbers as they can.
Yeah.
And that's just it. But another thing is, say Microsoft goes, you know what, guys, we're just going to wait. We're going to wait till spring. And then Sony goes, we ain't waiting. And then they release. That's when things might get a little dicey. Yeah. Where only one console's releasing and the other, 3 months, 4 months before the competitor. Be very interesting to see what happens there. So who knows? And if one launches, the other one's going to have the pressure to launch as well. So
who knows? I wouldn't want to be the guy coming up with the answer to when do we pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be a nightmare scenario for them, pretty much no matter how you slice it. Mm-hmm. Microsoft's Flight Simulator is going to require 150 gigs of space. Which is not shocking after what we've talked about in the past for the sheer size of this game, and how good it can look. That it has, the basic specs, the recommended, and then the ideal. I'm going to say don't play this unless you're running ideal, but who knows? We'll have to see when people get their hands on it. This is a game that actually makes heavy use of the cloud. So for the first time, I think, ever that I can personally think of, a part of the recommended requirements, one of the bullet points, was your bandwidth for your internet connection. And so the ideal specs, this is like their higher end stuff, their ideal specs for this game include a Ryzen 2700X, that's a pretty hefty CPU, a lot of cores, an NVIDIA 2080, so just shy of the top of the line 2080 Ti, a 32 gigs of RAM, and 50 megabit per second internet connection. That number there tells you how much they're pulling from the cloud to make it happen.
It's a lot.
So, it will be particularly interesting to see how well this game runs on a variety of hardware and connection speeds.
The good news about this is most of the people that are hardcore about this stuff,
they'll have that anyway.
They have that.
Yeah.
Bro, the people that run this shit got money.
Yeah.
They don't fuck the people that are heavy into these flight simulators, man, these guys got, and I've seen people with like tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment.
Big
like
time.
This is no joke, bro. They treat this shit like, well, it's like a simulator.
It's their singular hobby. They don't play. They're technically playing a game, but they're not gamers in the traditional sense.
No,
sim players they're in a different category. They're their own little niche.
I would say more than not already have this requirement and some. But of course, it sucks for the people that enjoy Flight Simulator that, can't have a $3,000 to $4,000 PC setup.
Yeah.
You know, it sucks, but my guess is most people that are serious about this shit, they've already got
probably
this.
have it. The internet connection will be probably the one that hurts the most
thing. Yeah.
because especially in
sometimes you just can't buy that type of internet, right?
No,
so,
and then there's data caps, right? And so that will probably be the most challenging. Two things that aren't on this list that we have here. One, Crysis is getting remastered. So that's getting brought back out to include their own engine-based
I think we talked about that
ray
last
tracing.
week.
Did we?
I think
yes,
so.
we did.
Yeah.
Sorry. So we already talked about that. My bad. I'm getting my weeks mixed up, as you can imagine. However, what isn't last week was it's your favorite topic, Jeff. Are you ready? It's Star Citizen time. It's Star Citizen time.
What do we got now?
It's your favorite thing to shit on, Jeff. Star Citizen fans are finally starting to get upset about some shit because, believe it or not, after as many delays and fuck-ups as this company has managed to handle, they're starting to finally complain. So what they're noticing is that the roadmaps that they were putting out, they're often referenced as look how transparent we're being, right? The roadmaps they're putting out have been dramatically altered, and entire feature sets and stuff either being moved into the end of the year production or just completely fucking
and it's gone.
We don't know where it is. And people are finally starting to go, what the fuck? Guys, we appreciate that, like everyone else, you're dealing with Space Godzilla, but you've done so much delaying, so much like roundabout whatever the fuck with this game for so long that this is like I don't know if I want to call this the straw that broke the camel's back, but it's like maybe the second or third to last straw. Like we're still stacking straws or pieces of straw.
They felt
I should say.
One.
And
they're starting to feel the weight.
This one they went, ooh, I feel that one in my lumbar region.
Yeah. The fuck.
And so this latest release that is supposed to be soon forthcoming includes like the saddest list of, I'm gonna see if I can find it.
Oh boy, fucking Star Citizen. Citizen Con is probably canceled.
And well, that was a no-brainer.
They may as well just cancel the game while they're at it and say, "We got you, boy. We got him."
Fuck. Somebody had a list of it that I was oh, here we go. Maybe I can find it here. Like the stuff that's in this is just so weird. Like body dragging.
Bro, why isn't this game made yet?
So, several cards were added to the roadmap under Alpha 4.0. These cards include new Bagabe shop editions, so more shops. Elevator panel updates, Jeff.
Fantastic
The panels in the elevators, updated.
Big update.
Height map improvements.
Wow.
And I think that's a ship, the Cutlass Blue, were the cards that were added and then others were removed. That were much bigger.
So say this game does come out. And when it does come out, are people actually going to experience anything new? Or are they just
because
kind of
it's so
piecemeal?
It's so piecemeal that they're gonna like one day. We talked about this before. One day they're gonna come out and just say, "Hey guys, it's 1.0," and then people are gonna go,
"What? Where's the content I've been waiting for?"
Okay, because it's like I think not everyone, but I think a lot of people are probably sitting there going, this is how it's going to be, and then they're going to drop a big content bomb on the release day where it's like a 1.0. It's like, yeah, you've got all that, you've played all this stuff, but here's the big mother load, here we go, we're dropping it, and it's going to be on top of the content you've played, and it's 1.0 launch, go. It ain't going to be that.
Dude, they started crowdfunding.
What was it?
2012.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
It's 2020.
Yeah.
Adam, Uh,
And they're still selling ships to add to it. It's like they're not like it's still an alpha, and they're still like making money. What are they over like $250 million or more? Like how much money is
oh
it?
yeah, they're easy quarter billion, bruh. 8 years. 8 years. The fuck? 8.
I mean, in December of 2018, it was over 250 million.
Yeah, so, add another 20 million on there or some shit. Who knows at this point?
I don't know, GameIndustry.biz. This is a bit more specific. This is a better website to use. Almost 2.5 million players have now funded the game, which is closing in. This was in December of 2019, so this is more recent.
Yep.
Closing in on $300 million.
Yikes.
So that vastly exceeds the total budget of like some of the biggest AAA games, including marketing.
Yes.
On top.
Bro, they just made Avengers.
Holy shit. And they're in Alpha 4.0, taking stuff off the roadmap and shifting it.
Started in 2012, Adam.
Oh, man.
It's 2020. They've made over $300 million.
Almost $300 million.
Almost $300 million.
Wild.
4.2 million in funding
in
2020.
2020, so up to this point,
4.2 million.
Just adding to the
after
pile.
Already being out for 8 years. And they're in alpha. And they're removing shit. Bruh.
It's a massive yikes.
That's a Nova yikes.
Oh, do you have a graph? Oh, show me. Look at this photograph. Show me this fucking graph, Ninja. Link that in chat if you can.
Absolutely.
It might not be allowed to be linked in chat, actually, now that I think about it. So if you can send it on Discord to Foxy or something, he can put it in chat.
These guys got to figure it out, dude. They got to figure it out. Like, can you imagine? I would just keep this business. You just keep it going. You just keep doing this. You're making millions of dollars a quarter.
Just post it on Discord, Ninja, and Public General. Sorry, continue.
I wonder how much money the CEO and the executives are pulling in a year from producing this game. I'm very curious.
Fuck. It's got to be a lot of money, dude.
Dude,
and
where's
if,
the
and
money?
if and
where's
if
the
not,
money
and if not, then
bro, listen. Where's the money?
And if
at?
not, then this is the worst managed video game project of all time.
Dude, where is the money? They didn't spend $300 million. Like, can you imagine sitting, like, just the interest alone on $300 million sitting in a bank is insane.
Dude, I'm looking at this graph right now. It's on my Discord Public General if you want to look at it on your side too. You can see it by hour. Dude, they have, I mean, at least props to them for at least showing this shit.
Where is this at?
It should be on Public General chat in my Discord. You can see hourly fucking. They made $6,500 or so in the last hour.
How? Like, this is nuts.
In the last day, 126,000. The last week, just shy of $1 million. In the last month, 4.3 million. With December of 2019 bringing down just shy of $11.5 million.
I got nothing else to say.
For a total crowdfunding of $278,171,841. Spread out across 2,574,361 people.
It's insane.
I mean, the median buy-in is a much better estimate, but we don't have the median here sitting around, so I'm just going to have to average this. Let's see this real quick.
Oh,
that is an average of $110 a person.
Yeah, $108. And I can tell you right now, most of the people spent more than $108.
Oh, there's definitely the bell curve for this is skewed for sure. But yeah, that's yikes.
It's a Nova yikes.
That's a big fucking yikes.
It's a Nova yikes.
Stop giving them money, guys. Let's just wait and see if they actually get a game out the door. And then if you want to get in on it later, fucking go.
Shame on them for still collecting money.
Why are they still taking money?
Yeah, seriously, like, what do you need it for?
What do you need more than $278 million for a game? And if you need more than that, maybe stop and go, you know what? Maybe we should bring the scope down a little bit on this bad boy. Because if the money keeps coming in, then the scope is probably just going to keep fucking going up, or the expectations are going to be
getting the money. That's the game they're playing, bro.
Oh,
give us more. We'll add more, and people are just riding this. They're riding this fantasy of this ultimate fucking utopia that they're going to be able to play at the end of this. That's never going to exist. It's crazy, bro. They're talking about panels in an elevator, bro.
Elevator panel update, Jeb.
Elevator panel updates. $278 million. They're talking about panel updates. The fuck? Bruh? What?
What?
What? How is that even a patch note?
That should just be put under miscellaneous. It
shouldn't even be put up.
There's miscellaneous improvements that are just like a whole bunch of nonsensical shit that nobody really cares about. But it's a main point. It's an entire bullet point dedicated to elevator panels.
Oh my god, dude! I can't believe they're allocating funds to this stuff, man.
Oh my god! Fucking hell! Fucking hell!
Yikes!
I want to see these panels. I want to see these $300 million panels.
Bro, these panels,
diamond encrusted.
Panels, they better be something fucking.
When the game comes out, you know what I want? You know what I want, Jeff? I want a solid gold elevator panel as part of a collector's edition.
They'll probably give you one.
They had the money.
Bro, I fucking went in on Star Citizen 3 years ago when we fucking started this podcast.
Yeah. It's still going, bro.
It's still going.
It's still going.
How insane is it? How insane is that?
With no end in sight.
How insane is that, bro?
There's still an alpha.
How insane is that? I was calling this shit a fucking scamaz 3 years ago.
Bro, anyone with a brain was calling this a scamaz ages ago. The only people not calling it a scamaz, the people who put money into it.
Yikes, dog. I mean, at this point, you may as well run it up. I'd love to see it hit $1 billion.
Fuck, let's go.
Balls, bro.
I want to see $500,000. Or $500 million, I should say.
$500 million.
$500 million. $500 million.
It's
not even including the fucking advertising budget.
It's gonna hit it. I'm telling you. It's gonna hit it. It's gonna take a while, but it's gonna get there.
Oh shit. That's all I got for that.
That's
you know
it?
what time
All
it
right.
is, Jeff? It's time for our time. It's our time to sell out.
You know what?
You want to
Go
put on
and
your
buy
Chris
yourself-
Roberts hat?
No, you know what? I'm just going to tell you guys straight up.
All right.
NordVPN.
Yep.
NordVPN.com/OTT. 70% off your 3-year subscription. Pay once, you ain't got to worry about it again for 3 years. Stay safe. Stay anonymous. Use it on your iPhone, your desktop, your smart TV, your phone. There's an app for all of it. For less than the price of a grande cinnamon dolce latte at Starbucks, you got yourself a fire-ass VPN service through NordVPN. Not only that, you're hitting 2 birds with 1 stone because you're also supporting the podcast.
I don't know if you've ever tried to hit 2 birds with 1 stone, but it's not easy to
tough.
do, Jeff.
It's very tough.
It's a lot of dexterity.
It can happen when you put in that promo code OTT.
That's right.
But if you don't do that, it's very tough. It's very, very tough. We got them locked up for a little while, guys. But if we want to get that re-up, you guys want to support the podcast, and you need a VPN service, you ought to use that promo code OTT. And you ought to hit that like button. So go and check them out. You try the service. You got 30 days. You don't like it. It's not doing what you thought it was going to do. Get your money back. No big deal. There's no catch. There's no nothing. You just get your money back.
Jeff, I have a question for you.
What's that?
I just have a lot of money to burn. You know, I got my Trump bucks, and I'm looking to spend some money, and I don't need a beater, so I'm not on Facebook looking for a beater. Okay. But I've got my Trump bucks, and I'm looking to spend some money. Star Citizen's looking like a really good investment right now. But I don't want to go all in at once. I kind of want to spread it out. Is there any way that I could like set up some macros on something to press a new button every day of the week until I have spent $10,000 to $15,000 in Star Citizen?
You know what, Adam? I think
you have something for me?
You know what? 1 second. I think I might. Now, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. I got something.
Oh, what do you got? What's that in your hands, Jeff?
This right here. It accepts Trump bucks.
That's right.
And it's called a Stream Deck by Elgato.
That's right.
Also, a sponsor of the podcast.
That's right.
So after you're done using those Trump bucks to grab yourself that NordVPN, you can go ahead and click on that link below of this podcast and go and pick yourself up a Stream Deck. See all these buttons right here? That represents Adam's stream, my stream, Technical Alpha, Technical Alpha Patch Notes YouTube channel,
That's right.
Life's a Glitch TV, Pornhub.
Is there a space for send money directly to Chris Roberts' bank account, Jeff?
You can make one. You can actually make one. Hey, listen. If you want to get Skamaz some more, and you want to go right on over to Star Citizen, you can set up a macro hotkey that can take you directly to their crowdfunding page where you can continue to pump in all kinds of money so that you can get the best panels possible.
That's right.
In elevators. And you want to know what's even crazier? Say you are a fan of Star Citizen, because there are some people that are loving the game, enjoying it, they play it.
That's right.
Hey, all the power to you. Get your money's worth. Well, I got something for you.
What's that?
It's called a Stream Deck. And since there's just so much content in Star Citizen,
that's right.
You're going to need the XL.
Jeff, I have another question for you about the Stream Deck XL by Elgato.
Yeah.
If I'm playing Star Citizen in the year 2069, and I go into Willy Wonka and the Great Glass Elevator. And you know, these elevators, they put a lot of R&D into these elevators.
They do.
There's a lot of buttons.
A whole lot of buttons.
Can I map all of the buttons on the $300 million elevator panels in Star Citizen onto the Stream Deck XL so that I don't have to click on them in-game, but simply physically get the tactile feedback of pressing a extraordinarily expensive elevator panel in real time?
Better yet, Adam. You can actually map out that entire panel right on your Stream Deck.
Oh.
And each button on the panel, every single floor of the elevator, the emergency bell that you can push in there.
Yes.
All of it.
Yes.
You can map it right out on your Stream Deck XL, which is going to just add even more immersiveness to the experience that is Star Citizen. And all jokes aside, I actually feel like if you are a Star Citizen player,
you could probably do that.
You could probably get some fire use out of the Stream Deck. I'm just going to keep it honest with you. Because there's a lot of buttons. There's a lot of different features. You can put on all kinds of your different little logos and icons on there. It can make it real easy. And then when you realize you finally got ripped off, you can make a hotkey for the uninstall button right in the bottom right. It'd basically be like a delete button.
One-click solution, Jeff.
Click that. You can map it right onto your computer, uninstall. You never have to look at the game again. And you know what's great about this is you can map every game you own. You can hotkey whatever you want.
That's right.
With your Stream Deck. Now you can get a mini, a regular size, or an XL. So head on over to Elgato's website. Link is in the description. And go and get yourself a Stream Deck for your needs. Elgato. Elgato, get one.
There you go.
I'm looking for a raise next time. We need a raise.
Yeah, that's right.
We need a raise.
We're not getting paid enough for these fucking. We're not getting paid enough for these, bro.
We need a raise. It's time for some movies and TV.
J.J. Abrams is producing a Justice League Dark series for HBO Max. Do we care?
Nope.
All right. Follow up to WWE being put in as an essential business as an employee contacts the local representatives. This is in Florida, of course. And I'll open up this Twitter account real quick.
Good old Florida.
Good old Florida. This was somebody named John. Probably not John Cena, but it's a John. Says that despite sanitary precautions, they can't maintain social distancing at WWE tapings, and since they have to touch others, so they're requesting the government shut down the tapings so that everyone can follow social distancing rules without the fear of losing their jobs. Because they're afraid, obviously, if they bring this up, that Vince McMahon is going to shit down their neck, which he probably will.
Probably would. Yeah. Oh, you're not coming to work, you're fired.
You're fired.
Go to AEW.
So there you go. That's the thing that's happening right now. You know what, though? Just as casual, fuck Florida. There's always a good time for that Bugs Bunny gif where he's physically, with the saw, cutting Florida off the map. That should probably have happened a long time ago. Dune movie remake, Jeff. Have you seen some of the stuff coming up for this?
I saw some pictures.
Dune is, if you don't know, arguably the most important and possibly even best piece of science fiction writing of all time that has been turned into a number of properties, including an original movie. I think it was in the 80s, maybe, that they did that original. I can't off the top of my head remember. And this remake has obviously people talking because Dune is a much beloved franchise, or an intellectual property, I should say. And apparently it's looking like it's going to be a woke movie, Jeff. Super woke. Ooh. Space woke.
Space woke.
Space woke.
Interstellar type woke.
Sharon Duncan Brewster confirmed as the character. I believe it's either Light or Leet. I want to say Light Kynes. I can't remember how to pronounce that name because I've only ever read it in a book. And as we all know, you just make shit up in your head as you go along when you're reading a book. I haven't seen the original. I haven't seen the movies. The original movie role was actually played by Max von Sydow, as a fun fact. And in the book, it is described very specifically as a white, blue-eyed, grizzled kind of ish male, which is why Max von Sydow played it originally. But for this one, we're getting a young black female to play the role because apparently the director looked at the list of characters in Dune and said, not enough females, and I want more females, so we're going to gender and race swap this bad boy and make the magic happen. I don't know how much I personally care about this, but I have to assume that there are a lot of fans of Dune who are sitting back going, we're finally going to get a Dune movie with a big budget in modern times that's going to be fucking fire, and then, oops, we had to get political and whatnot and change up the source of the movie.
What's her face is playing the character though.
I'm not saying she's bad. There's no part of this where I'm saying that she's going to do a poor job.
Yeah.
It just always makes me feel a bit weird when you fuck with the source material for the sake of. I mean, the director said it himself. It was just because the source material didn't have enough women involved, and so and that's just always a weird thing to me.
Well, for me,
I don't care either way.
I didn't read the source material, so I don't really give a fuck. It's all going to be new to me. So.
And that's how most people are going to be anyway. Dune is arguably the best piece of science fiction, but not everyone would. Very few people that are going to go see this movie are likely going in with that kind of experience. Yeah, it's not the end of the world, but it's just one of those things that the whole woke movie thing is just it never seems to stop. But. That's not to say that the actress is going to do a poor job. In fact, she is a great actress, and she will probably do a great job. And I'm going to see it regardless because Dune is just fire.
Oh, I'm going to go see it. Yeah.
Last piece here. Macaulay Culkin reportedly bagging. We talked about this. What are the odds that he'll get in? And the odds were high because let's be honest. Reportedly bagging $3.1 million for a small cameo in Disney Plus's Home Alone remake.
There you go.
Get your money, Macaulay Culkin. Secure the bag.
Get it.
And now the question is,
he's probably going to have
5 seconds of screen time?
30 seconds. He's going to have like a one-liner. And that'll be the show. And he just made $3.1 million. Get it. Get it.
I'm so happy. See, Macaulay Culkin's just out doing whatever the fuck he wants now. Like he went away for so long, and then he was like, "Fuck obscurity. I'm going to come out and do some stuff now and just have fun with it." And it's like everyone's embracing him coming back, and he seems like such a happier person than he was several years ago, and I'm all there for it.
Yeah.
The real meme here is if they do like a run-in and his cameo is as long as Donald Trump's was in that in the second one, where he just literally bumps into them on the way out the door.
I think he's gonna have a speaking role, but I think it's gonna be just like a one-liner, like "Oh my god," a callback.
Yeah, and that's gonna be it.
Yeah.
If they're remaking it faithfully, what if he's the old man with a shovel?
He could be. I think he's going to be the pizza guy.
Oh, that would be a dope choice.
I think he's going to be the pizza.
Yes.
I think he's going to be the pizza dude.
If it is a 1-to-1 remake or like a similar, like they're a lot of the same beats, then that's the choice for sure. Oh my god, yes, that's
guy,
it.
Right?
100%.
It's just a perfect role for him.
Fuck.
Yeah.
They did that exact joke actually with the Angry Video Game Nerd where they played the Home Alone games together.
Yeah.
And his shtick was he was the pizza guy.
I think he'll be the pizza guy.
Yes. Yeah.
It just makes sense.
Fuck.
You know?
Yeah. 100%. You nailed it. Hey, Jeff, what should people be doing right now?
They should be hitting the like button.
And where can they go if they want to throw Trump bucks at us?
Patreon.com/legtv. That's where they should go. So throw all the Trump bucks.
Well, not all of them, because as we know, you're not getting very many of them.
Yeah.
And so
one Trump buck actually will be suffice.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can't afford any Trump bucks, hit the like button. Leave a comment. Spread it around. Share it. All that fun stuff.
Oh, I will add this as well. They put out the first two parts of a documentary. It's the Bulls 97-98 run, The Last Dance. Fire documentary so far.
It's gonna be dope. And Netflix is only releasing like 2 of them every
couple weeks, really. It's
every couple weeks. Yeah.
And
I watched the first 2 episodes.
Fuck, dude, there's so much. I have the entire Michael Jordan collection, and in the first 2 episodes, I've learned more in the first 2 episodes of this bad boy than anything in that collection. His 25th, whatever. That thing was wild.
And we still got like another, 6 or 8 more episodes?
You know what my favorite part has been so far? Hearing Scottie Pippen's story, because you never hear Scottie Pippen's story.
Yeah.
Greatest number 2 man of all time. 122nd on the pay list.
I didn't know he got that fucked pay-wise. I had no clue.
Well, when you hear, and it all makes sense, because when you hear his family backstory of that many siblings and not coming from a broke family,
you just take it. You take it.
And then you got your dad in a wheelchair from a stroke, and your brother in an accident in a wheelchair. And you're the money earner. You hear $18 million over 7 years. You don't even think about it.
No, you just take it.
$18 million over 7 years in the late 80s, early 90s. You just fucking take it. And then you become, arguably next to Jordan, the greatest, at the very least, is the best number 2 of all time, like 2 spot on the floor.
Yeah.
And then because they're playing gotcha in the management, and they don't want to let you renegotiate, and because they have you for your money, and they're getting on probably the greatest deal in basketball history is Scottie Pippen's 7-year fucking deal.
Dude, just the merch alone made them more fucking money than what he was.
Oh, yeah, it's nuts.
It was a really, really good watch.
I'm looking forward a lot to the next episodes that are coming up with that.
Dude, Kale and I watched the reality show on Netflix.
Oh, not the new one. The fucking, what's it called?
The fucking the one.
Everyone's
one where
pretty as fuck.
Yeah.
Dude, what's the name of that
shit? I forget. Somebody in chat.
It was number 1 trending in Canada. I watched a trailer for it. I almost vomited in my mouth like 3 times.
Bro. It's one of those reality shows that you just watch, too hot to handle.
That's it. Dumpster fire from beginning to end.
Yes. Yes. They basically is a bunch of fucking.
It's like Love Island, but not on an island. I guess.
Do you know the twist?
What's the twist?
What?
What's the twist?
So the twist is, all right, they get like 6 hot dudes,
of course,
and 6 hot chicks, or 5 of each, and then new people come in and stuff. They spice things up.
Yeah.
But the big twist is, they're not allowed to have any sexual contact. So every time that you kiss, it's like a $3,000 fine. If you have sex, it's like 20 G's. If you blow somebody,
so is that just coming out of the money that they would have won otherwise?
Exactly. So there's a $100,000 prize.
Okay.
And every time that someone breaks a rule, it goes off the prize money.
Okay.
But then you have a thing where somebody breaks a rule,
right?
Then other people are like, "Fuck these guys! I'm gonna go ahead and break rules now because I'm."
Oh, so does it come out of everyone's prize money?
It comes out of everybody's pocket.
Oh fuck, that's drama.
So there's drama there. Everybody's horny as fuck. They're drinking. It's a fuck show, bro. It's a fuck show. You gotta watch it.
That's a fucking yikes. I'm probably not gonna watch it. I'll live vicariously through you on that one.
It's really not even that good of a show, but it's just dumb, stupid reality TV that, like, you binge because you laugh at how ridiculous it is.
Yikes.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking yikes. Jeff, what time is it?
It's tech support.
Aaron Carter, no questions. Just want to send you, your family, and all of Nova Scotia love and strength during these tragic times. Nova Scotia strong. Thank you, Aaron Carter.
Much love.
For those who somehow don't know, because it's been global news at this point, there was a still ongoing investigations that will probably be going for a long time surrounding, it's not even a mass shooting. It was more of a rampage. A super premeditated rampage whereby a 51-year-old denturist, of all people.
My grandmother's.
Your grandmother's denturist?
My grandmother buys dentures from him.
Fuck. So he owns like several properties, including a couple properties where he started his rampage in a place called Portapic. And which is, for all intents and purposes, the middle of fucking nowhere. There's like at this time of year there might be 120 people in the entire fucking place. He somehow gets an RCMP uniform. Somehow gets enough decals to put on an ex-RCMP vehicle, which you can buy at auctions. Like lots of police cars get auctioned off after they hit a certain number of kilometers. They just strip everything off of them. They're stock white. They sell the cars at auction. So he had one of those, then he somehow got decals, and I don't even know where the fuck the vinyls came from, but he basically had an RCMP vehicle that the average person, and even more than the average person, would have a damn hard time differentiating that vehicle in broad daylight, let alone at nighttime, and a real vehicle. Drives out to this place, going door to door, and just starts offing people because they see an RCMP officer come to the door.
Yep.
Beyond that, he starts burning down some of the houses after he leaves, torching cars and houses as he goes. And because he started out in the middle of fucking nowhere at night, it took a hot minute before the authorities were made aware of what was going on, and then they had to try and figure out where the fuck the guy went to. By the time it was all said and done, and the numbers kept going up over the days, I don't think they've added any more to this point, but there's still some stuff on hold.
I think it was like 16.
No, we're at 20 plus now.
Oh my God.
Including him, we're at 20 plus. So this guy eventually gets caught in a shootout at a gas station in Enfield, and apparently dies of his wounds on site. Took out an RCMP officer as well, who was a mother who was also pregnant at the time, and many more. I mean, it's just so many people. It was the worst killing spree or mass shooting, even though it's not really a mass shooting, but worst killing spree or killing in modern Canadian history. And by that I mean we're going back over 100 years. The last one was in Quebec at Technic, fucking Polytechnic, or Polytech, which was 14 people. This is mass shootings are crazy fucking rare in Canada. This kind of thing is even more rare. I don't think in our lifetimes anything's even approached this.
Yeah, from what I read, and of course, you know, whatever you read on the internet, you take it with a grain of salt. But from what I was reading and what I heard is this guy had an altercation with an RCMP officer at one of his establishments in a parking lot or something. And he had a really big hate on for the RCMP.
This wouldn't be the first time that happened, because we had an RCMP like 6 years ago in New Brunswick where a guy had a hate on and went and killed RCMP officers.
Well, what apparently from what I was reading, and once again, this is all
we don't know
speculative or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is, you know, fact or not. But he was trying to get even in making the RCMP officer and RCMP look bad, which is why he decided to go that route of pretending to be an RCMP officer and killing people. Not only that, apparently a lot of these people that he killed, he knew, and they were targeted. Like his ex-wife or his something, and her new man. Some bad run-ins he's had at some of his businesses with some people. Some of these were, he knew where they lived and he went directly to their place. And then some were others were just random. He was just pulling people over at random and pretending to be an officer and then executing people. Is very, very sick. It's insane. So it's a big investigation. It's crazy that it's happened here of all places, because Nova Scotia is not known for
nothing
this.
Really happens.
Canada's not really known for this,
general,
but Nova Scotia, in not even in major cities, like not even in you know, the HRM or anything like that. Like this was out in the middle of nowhere.
Most gun-related incidents here. Two things, gun-related incidents. They're mostly the illicit guns here. There's a small number of them, and they're basically rented out amongst the people fucking using them for crime.
Well, these guns were illegal, so they weren't registered. So they've already announced that the guns that were used, they were not legally purchased or anything like that. And so,
and most of it is like gang crime, and it's gang-on-gang violence, and it's never random shooting, like ever. Fucking, it never fucking happens. So this is But again, is crazy. What really crazy is just the fact that it wasn't just a mass shooting. This wasn't a guy losing everything and then going out and saying, all right, I'm going to pick an event where there's hundreds of people standing around and then just unload into a crowd. It was hyper premeditated.
Oh yeah,
and specifically executed the method, and was unfortunately incredibly fucking efficient when he decided to do it. And that's a sick individual, but it's sick in the way that he still had all his faculties to be able to orchestrate everything that happened there. So that's what happened there. Yeah, the guy died. Yeah, he died probably in a shootout. I don't know if they mentioned if it was a shootout at the gas station, but
it was. Yeah. He got shot up at the gas station.
And so, the
big stop.
Fucking absolutely wild.
I couldn't believe it.
Our gun laws are strict here, and that's why you rarely see any of this type of shit happening at all.
Like when I got my gun license, like there's a process.
I mean, they screen you. You can't even get one if you've recently divorced for that exact reason.
Literally, yes.
There's a checkbox of where have you recently been divorced.
Yep, there's all kinds of mental stuff too. Like if you like lost jobs, fucking like they talk like there's a big list of stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're not answering correctly, you ain't getting it. And it's just a process. You got to take a course. You got to do all kinds of stuff.
And how you're supposed to be taking care of your guns at home and like lock up and ammo separation and
Yep. You can't like my gun locker. You can't have like bullets. You can't have a loaded gun.
It can't be in the same place.
You can't be in the same place.
No.
Like there are so many different things that you have to do in order to even have it.
And they're probably
crazy here.
Well, they're probably going to get even tighter now, but it'll be like for handguns and shit now. What I think is probably going to happen, I mean, just before Space Godzilla rolled around, the federal government was actually, Trudeau's government was talking about looking at gun laws anyway, and now this has happened. Now they're 100% going to look at them even more. Whereby it's probably going to be looking at semi-automatics of any kind with like handguns and shit of that nature, and they're going to reduce it down to just hunting firearms only.
Yeah. That's what most people have anyway.
That's what the vast majority,
shotgun and or a rifle.
Handguns are
hunting.
Not that common here.
No,
so.
You can buy them. You can, and it's a separate. You need a separate.
It's a separate license, isn't it?
I don't even have a handgun license. Like, I only got the licensing for hunting.
For hunting, yeah.
So rifle, shotgun. If you want to get a handgun, I think it's like a class 2 or it's a different.
Yeah, it's a different license.
Process. Yeah. And you got to. It's another course. Like it's another layer of stuff that you have to do. You can buy them, but it's another thing, right? So
yeah,
so it's wild. It's wild.
A very sad thing.
Restricted
indeed.
license. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Another course,
So thank you, Aaron Carter.
Yeah. It is crazy.
I just set up my Eero Pro. What do you guys use for, this comes in from Seth, what do you guys use for a router? Your thoughts on mesh Wi-Fi setups? One thing is, I have to look up what the fucking Eero Pro even is in the first place. I don't even know what that is. Let me just...
Eero
Pro.
I'll look that up too. EURO?
No, EERO.
Oh, EE.
Oh, it is a mesh Wi-Fi type system. Oh, okay. I see. It's for mesh Wi-Fi. It's basically it allows you to create multiple Wi-Fi access points throughout the house.
This is what I need, bro, because my shit is fucked.
Yeah, because you're relying on your router in the basement of a massive home to put it upstairs.
Well, we have one router in our bedroom and then one in the basement.
Yeah,
and there's so many like just dead zones, and it's bad.
So that's
actually something what I need here.
Yeah, you'd want to have somebody come in and look at do an assessment and then do mesh Wi-Fi setups for you. And that's what that is. But my thoughts on mesh Wi-Fi setups are, if you do it yourself, they can often be a massive pain in the fucking ass. and a real bitch for sure, but they're obviously useful in certain usage cases. The only thing that I use in my household that's wireless is my phone. Everything else is hardwired. And this house is under 3,000 square feet. And so the router that our ISP gives us by default has a strong enough signal to easily send Wi-Fi downstairs, upstairs, opposite end of the house, back deck. We can get everywhere. So, and it's also because we don't have concrete in the walls or metal in the walls other than some wiring. So yeah, I don't personally need it. But if you're in a situation like Jeff, or if you're in like in a place that does have like firewalls between rooms where it might be concrete or something that's even harder to pass signal through, yeah, mesh Wi-Fi is almost a necessity, especially if you're relying on Wi-Fi for a lot more than just your phones. Like if you're using it on like your fucking streaming services, shit, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like if you need like good, fast, consistent connections, then it's like a necessity to have mesh Wi-Fi. Will Hawkins asks, what was the last game that you can think of that lived up to the hype?
To the hype.
Resident Evil 2.
That was the first thing that I was gonna say, but I didn't know if it was considered that hyped. I guess, yeah. If I had to just pick one off the top of my head, I'd say Resident Evil 2.
Yeah. That's about all I've got. I can't think of anything else right now off the top of my head. Super Kami Guru asks, you've been given the power to plan the main event at WrestleMania, Jeff. You can pick any match type and any wrestler in their prime versus any other wrestler. What would your match be?
I would go with well, that fight has already happened. I would be picking Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock. I mean, that's sort of that's I've already lived that. I can't really think of, because I don't know this era's wrestling, and I don't follow it.
Yeah.
And I didn't really follow the era like Hulk Hogan's era, like when he was like, I was super young, like when my dad would have watched them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I saw Hulk Hogan and I enjoyed him, and like, you know, Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair and Jake the Snake. I did see those guys, but I saw them towards the latter part of their career, into like the Attitude Era and that stuff. So, you know, I've already seen, in my opinion, the best era in wrestling ever. And I don't think we're ever going to get better than the Attitude. But I'm biased because
yeah. I would go with I've got two matches I would have loved to have, that I would love to see. I would love to have seen a pinfall anywhere match, so it doesn't have to be in the ring, so they can go outside the ring and do their thing, whatever. Between The Rock and Diamond Dallas Page, because before The Rock, Diamond Dallas Page's thing, he was called the People's Champion, and then The Rock was then the People's Champion in WWF, and or the WWE by the time, I can't remember if it had switched by the time he got that moniker, and a People's Champion versus People's Champion anywhere pinfall between those two, where Dallas is at his prime and Rock is at his prime, I think would have been fucking fire. Even if Dallas, when he got to from WCW over and they wasted him, even that era Dallas would have been a dope matchup versus The Rock, would have been really fucking awesome.
That'd have been a good one.
The People's Champ versus People's Champ is just fucking, it writes itself.
That just sounds good. Who's the actual People's Champ?
the real People's Champ, right? And they both had similar skill sets in the ring. They were both able to do more than just like your standard wrestling, and so that would have been fun to watch. And then I would want to see a storyline build up and then a submission. No, not a submissions match. Sorry, no. Just a standard match. I don't know. I wouldn't want any or what I'm. No, you know what? Let me change this up. I want a no disqualification match with a build up to the WrestleMania storyline, because both of them were god tier storytellers outside and inside the ring. Bret the Hitman Hart and Jake the Snake Roberts in his prime.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
The promos that would lead up to that and the storytelling in the ring during that match with a no DQ between Jake the Snake and Bret the Hitman would be fucking unreal. The DDT versus the sharpshooter in a no DQ. Oh my god. Yes. I'll take those matches. That'd be fire as fuck. Kimmits, another one with no questions, just a comment. First responders and essential workers are doing an amazing job keeping us safe and making our lives as normal as possible. Yes. That said, I also want to thank you two for keeping us entertained and our lives a little brighter in these tough times. I think entertainers like yourselves also deserve a big thank you. Oh, well, thank you, Kimmits.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, being able to turn on and watch the people that you like to watch on a daily basis and having that little piece of normalcy is exactly why, I make an effort to, continue to stream as often as I do and keep it going. And why we keep this podcast going, despite the fact that we're sitting in our own houses. It's for the entertainment.
Do what you got to do. We will be back together at some point.
It will happen.
It will happen. Just not anytime soon.
Just not anytime soon.
Just not anytime soon.
That's fine.
All right, here it is. You know what I just did, guys?
Uh-oh, what did you do? I've been seeing you doing something. What are you doing?
Aaron Carter.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Where's my wallet? It's upstairs.
What about Aaron Carter? What about Aaron Carter?
Just give me I'll be right back.
Okay.
Continue.
All right. Let me see if there's a question that's more specifically for me that I can answer here before we continue. Fuck, you guys had a lot of questions today. Holy tits. Mother of God. I'll answer Adams. French Adams. Our boy. Describe the best cookies you've ever had, and are you a chewy or a crispy kind of guy? Look, I'm biased as fuck. My mom makes the best cake in the world. She also makes the best cookies in the world. And the double chocolate cookies are the show. You get crispy outside, chewy middle, and it's perfect. That's it. It's that simple.
What question did I miss?
French Adam was asking, what's the best cookie that you've ever had? And are you a crunchy or a chewy kind of guy?
Bro, this is going to sound real weird.
All right.
All right. Some people might be able to relate. Other people might not.
All right.
My go-to cookie, no matter what.
Is it oatmeal raisin?
Nope.
Okay.
It's Subway M&Ms.
Okay.
It's my go-to.
Dude, that's really lots of people people go to Subway only for the cookies.
I've done it. I've done it. I bought 12 packs just for the cookies.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
It's a good cookie. And those are usually chewy. They're not a crunchy, they're a chewy. Sometimes they're overdone, and they're never good when they're crispy.
No, they're not.
They don't hold up well for that.
All right. Here we go.
Yeah, Aaron Carter. What do you got?
Aaron Carter. Bruh. I just did it.
Did you just buy his new album?
No.
I don't even know if he has one. I'm just guessing at this point.
So, what was Aaron Carter's question?
He didn't have one. He was the one that just wanted
first one.
Yeah, he just wanted to send that wasn't Aaron Carter.
Who was the next guy?
Oh, the guy about the mesh Wi-Fi?
Yes.
Yeah, that was Seth.
Seth, I just ordered one.
There you go.
I'll let you know next week.
Boom.
All right. I Amazon Primed it, which means I'll probably get it sometime next year.
And then you'll wait 5 days for the package to simmer before opening it to avoid space aids.
So I got the Eero. Is that what it is?
Eero, yeah.
Yeah, Eero mesh Wi-Fi system. All right. It's the 3-pack. And I will tell you how it works because we needed one badly. Our internet here, it's dodgy as fuck. So if I can have one thing for the Wi-Fi, for the smart TVs and the cell phones walking around the house, and this works, I'll let you know. If it's dog shit, I'll let you know.
Swiveler asks, what do you think gaming will look like in 50 to 60 years' time? Will people be still gaming on consoles or PC, or will it all just be VR-based? I don't think everything is going to be VR-based, but I don't think that consoles or PCs are going to exist in the way that they do now. I do think that we're going to actually, by 50 to 60 years, it's going to be mostly cloud-based servicing for everything.
Just streaming everything.
And whatever hardware you have in the house will be relatively minimal for that. And everything will cost a fortune because it will all be software as a service. So, buckle up for that. We have a lot of questions, so I can't get to them all this week. Sorry, guys. Caleb asks, as of March, my partner and I are now forced into a long-distance relationship. One's in Japan, one's in Canada. It's
a long-distance relationship.
Not an inaccurate description. First, any advice for those people kept apart from their loved ones during this time? And second, on a lighter note, what's the largest cultural difference you've ever experienced in a relationship? Differing expectations, incorrect shared assumptions, language barriers, etc. So, advice for long distance is all you can do is keep in contact as often as you can, but still allow yourselves to have your personal space like you would if you were home. So, like, go about your day and you know, message each other throughout the day, you know, text messaging and stuff, whatever, keep up. But then block out a specific time that you just sit down with no other distractions and just talk to each other and spend time together in that block of time. Because that's all you've got, right? We're at least blessed to be in a situation where video calling is easy to get your hands on and do with almost any device that you own. Yeah. So make use of that. But sometimes long-distance relationships become smothering when you would think that they couldn't be, because people, when they get antsy and they get paranoid, and so they're constantly, every 35 seconds, a message gets sent. What are you up to? What are you doing? How are you doing? You know, what did you eat? When was your last shit? Did you sleep well last night? And it's just like an endless stream of verbal diarrhea to keep constant contact for fear that they're either being unfaithful or they're not thinking about them, etc., etc. So you gotta just maintain some sanity with how often you're talking, but block out a chunk of time where you're not doing something else like scrolling social media or watching some shit or whatever, and do something together, video call, spend some time. That's my pro tip.
I don't really have a tip because Adam's done it. I haven't. I'm a believer that, you know, long distance relationships just don't work.
I'm sure both of them might even have that same idea, but unfortunately, due to the situation, they don't have a choice.
If it's temporary, then that's one thing. But I mean, if this person, for example, you know, if I dated somebody from Australia, and we met online or something, and maybe we got together at a event that we both like. We met each other and kicked it off. We just keep talking. I feel like anything more than like 6 months this is for me personally.
Yeah.
I think anything more than like 6 months and we are not together, I just don't know how it could work for me, because everybody's different, man. Like, some people
It can work
do
for
that
some
shit.
people,
It
and
can
for other,
work.
it just not
For
gonna
others, it
happen.
just can't, right? So obviously, for something like a pandemic, there's tons of people that are with their family right now, and or boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever the case may be. And that's just because we all understand it's a pandemic, and like, you do what you got to do, right? There's plenty of people that just can't even. Some people that can't even be with their own spouse in their own home right now because of this shit.
Yeah.
But in terms of like a straight up long distance relationship, I just couldn't be in one, because I need to be physical with somebody. I need to physically see somebody. But I'm kind of with Adam, where it's like, if you are doing it, you do need to have time for each other. You need to, speak and see each other. You could, like, FaceTime or do whatever. But at the end of the day, I feel like if it was me in a long distance relationship and it was just purely that, I wouldn't allow myself to get too attached, because it becomes that thing where you're going to worry if this individual is being faithful. You're going to worry about what they're doing. It just becomes too obsessive, because you don't have that. It's not tangible. You can't, just go and see them or touch them or whatever. And it just requires a fuck ton of trust, a lot of restraint and discipline. And it's something that I don't think I could do for more than 6 months. I even think 6 months is a stretch, especially if I'm young and I'm dating. Like, yeah. No, it's not for me. I couldn't do it, but there's plenty of people that have, man. There's plenty of people that go to school, they're on opposite sides, and then at the end of the day, they get back together. I know people personally that have been together, they've gone to different schools, and then they've just separated, stayed friends, and then got back together when they were all done, because it was just easier that way. And they got to just do what they wanted to do without having to worry about what the other person was doing and things like that. It just seems easier, but I don't know. I'm a bit too selfish for those sort of things.
As for
and I'm yeah, go ahead.
No, as for the cultural differences and stuff and whatnot, I
don't know anything about that. The biggest thing that I can say, the biggest thing that I've ever dealt with any type of like differences, is being a black guy visiting white parents.
Yeah, which is always going to be fucking wild.
Because I know it might seem a little like weird to talk about that, but as a black male, and I've only ever dated white chicks.
Yeah.
So like, as somebody that's black, you think, and there has been my first girlfriend, her parents were racist as fuck. But you always think, what
version of parents am I going to get?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because, as funny as bad as it sounds, and it does sound bad, and we shouldn't think this way or anything like that. It's just like, in the back of my mind, especially when I was younger. As I got older, I didn't care, because I was an adult and things like whatever. But when I was a teenager, and like, I was in my 21, visiting white parents, you think, you put yourself in the father's shoes, and it's just like, you got your young little white daughter, and she's bringing home some black dude. Not saying that should be different than bringing home anybody else, but in the society that we live in, and growing up black, and you see things, and my mom's white, and my grandmother was very racist. It's just one of those things where it just goes through your mind. So it's always, that's the big thing for me. Just meeting the parents, just being the black guy coming home and saying, "Hey, Merry Christmas, I'm the boyfriend." It's just, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
lot's always it'd be super different for me. In my relationships, I've had one. First was from here. Second was from the Netherlands, and now M, who's crawled on the floors playing Animal Crossing behind me right now. The differences have never been like super major. or like weird things that will come up. The stuff like sarcasm does not work particularly well all the time, unless that person is kind of like been well versed in sarcasm in the past. Which is a problem for me because I'm fucking hyper sarcastic.
Yes, you are.
And so that was a thing. And then sometimes the different cultures, even if they're similar, like let's say here and the Dutch culture, how people speak or how blunt the Dutch are with how they talk about certain topics versus here. There were lots of awkward fucking conversations in front of my parents that I would have never had that just happened because for her it was just normal, and that's just how it works over there. Everyone's just fucking blunt like a hammer, and there's no filter, zero filter. And so that was fucking awkward. And then just the general like reading between the lines when somebody is saying something, the assumptions that the other person have that you can tell what they're trying to get at is different, and that can sometimes cause awkward like misreads where you end up getting yourself in trouble when you don't need to or whatever. And then otherwise it's not really been that big of a thing. In general, once you get past the language barrier, everyone is pretty similar, plus or minus a few things, right? It's not super common to be so dramatically different that too many things crop up. Hey Jeff, what's worse?
Yeah.
This comes in from Lag Lawyer. Sticky fingers or running into a talkative acquaintance in public when you're in a hurry. Talkative acquaintance all day. I would take sticky fingers on a daily basis. Running into somebody that you don't want to talk to, and they see you, and you're like the grocery store or whatever, and they run up to you, and they want to have a fucking 15-20 minute powwow in the middle of a grocery store about life and catching up. That shit drives me wild.
Yeah,
I can't stand that stuff.
I'd go with the same. I'd do the same. Yeah. Sticky fingers I can handle. Although my fingers are never sticky.
No. I wash my hands, especially now. In fact, I wash my hands so much now that they're so dry that I'm bathing in like O'Keefe's working hands for feet cream because it's stronger than the stuff for the for the hands. We're down to I'm choosing one more.
All right.
Kalutzi asks, has there been a person or situation that made you want to punch someone in the throat? If yes, what was it?
Oh, I mean, so many.
It's a lot. It's hard to pick on that one.
I actually just can't even pinpoint one. I'm
gonna go with every time Trump opens his mouth.
There you go. That's a good one.
Right for the throat.
I mean, I really can't think of.
Shit, 90% of Republicans that open their mouths I want to punch in the throat right now. And that goes for the Canadian versions, the conservatives out of Alberta right now. Every time they say something stupid like just open up everything else, just open everything up. What's the worst that could happen? Like, okay, well, a lot actually.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I've wanted to punch so many people in their throats.
Fucking mayor of Las Vegas said that she wanted like willing to.
If they die, they die.
Yeah, like we'll be the placebo or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
She's not even using the terminology correctly, and then that it hurts my soul. So many punches to so many throats, to say the least. All right, hold on. Let me get one that's slightly fucking less morbid. And we'll end on that one. Here we go. This is a good one. Xenon Slayer. Last one of the day. I just bought and moved into my first house. There is no fridge.
Congrats.
Okay, congratulations. There is no fridge, no washing machine, no TV,
problem.
or hot water, which was unexpected. The last one.
Did you move into a shed?
Did you actually move into a house, or did you move into a house still being constructed? But I have internet and power. Well, that's good.
Priorities.
What was your I should have prepared more for this moment?
Well, typically when I buy a house, it comes with appliances.
It's pretty uncommon for it not to.
Yeah. And if not, you should have got that put in the agreement, unless you bought a house brand new and it was like new construction and it's on you to do that. What was the actual question?
The question was, what was it? I don't think it has to be a house related thing, but what was one of your I should have prepared more for this moments? It's like something happens and you've gotten yourself into something and then you go, wait, I was not prepared for this moment.
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know, because I'm such a spontaneous person that, like, I don't even think of it that way. I've put myself into so many on the spot situations that, like, some people would consider like to be uncomfortable, but I look at them as like it's my time to shine. And most of those things, like, I'm not prepared for, but I just do it anyway. I guess like the first thing that kind of came up to my mind was when I was at Main Stage MLG.
And I was actually going to mention that. I was like, I wonder if that's one that,
yeah. So, like, you know, I went Main Stage MLG, and, you know, you've got day 9 showcast in my game with DJ Wheat, and I'm up on the main stage, and I'm just not prepared. Like, I don't have any build orders. I don't, like, but I didn't go in there feeling like, oh shit, I should have been more prepared. I went in there like nervous and excited, and it was just my time to shine, even though, you know, I was going to suck. So, like, I don't really think of it like that. Like, I seize those, like, those are the types of things that I enjoy being in. It's what it's how I feel alive when I just do shit like that. So I don't really ever feel like, oh, I should have been more prepared, because the things that I typically go to, I usually am over prepared. So, like, if I know I'm going to do something, and it's kind of a big deal, I prepare myself for that. But the things that just sort of happen on the fly, or I kind of float around to put myself into a situation where something could pop off, I'm usually, like, kind of in a way looking for it. And I just kind of go with it. It's how I am.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I'm known for being too prepared for everything all the time. Like, I overthink every decision that needs to be made, and I'm out like multiple fucking steps. Like, I'm playing 3D chess when I only need to be worried about playing checkers. And I've always been that way, and so it's rare for me to get into a situation where I have prepared for basically every contingency, and then a whole bunch of contingencies that likely would have never happened anyway. So, yeah, I can't think of off the top of my head a situation where it was kind of like a record scratch, and then it was like, fuck, I am not prepared for this moment. I don't think I can think of anything like that. But
and I'm always like a worst case scenario guy too. So, like, even when bad shit happens, like, I'm still kind of ready for it. You've
already thought about it and prepared for it.
I've already thought of it. Yeah, because that's just how I am. So I'm a preparer too. Like, I'm kind of like, I'm the opposite of Adam, where I just go. Like, I don't care. Like, I find preparation in some cases, it slows me down, and I get in my own head, so I just jump in. But then I become very obsessive of whatever it is I do. Like, I just go too crazy with whatever. But I do plan like Adam for the future. So, like, I'm I'm very calculated in what the next thing will be, but I don't ever really think about how to get there. I just kind of go with it. It's just how I am.
You just make the magic. You make the magic happen.
That's just it. And Slayer just said, because of Space Godzilla, that's why he doesn't have his appliances yet.
Well, yeah, that's going to happen.
So now that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hopefully you'll get some appliances soon.
It'll happen. You'll be able to make your own food.
Soon enough.
Soon enough.
You got internet and you got power.
You got porn. Life. You got NordVPN. You've got whatever streaming you need.
Hell yeah.
Mr. Maximus Black, that's going to be it for this week's Tech Melva podcast. That is a 3-hour and 14-minute behemoth.
Yikes.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Head on over to patreon.com/lagtv if you want to continue to, or get in on it and financially support this podcast because it's providing you with the entertainment to get you through Space Godzilla on a daily basis. Thank you so much for stopping in and watching. If you caught this live, if you're watching on YouTube, all the same, give us a little rate on iTunes if you're into that kind of thing, or rate us wherever you can. That actually helps us out quite a bit if you continue to give us those ratings. I know it's always annoying to go to your way to do that, but if you make it to the end of this podcast, odds are you're the type of person who'd probably write one for us. Thank you so much, guys. Once again, we will see you all next week. And until we do, peace!